Accident attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Tonight's spotlight belongs to SEC foes Alabama and Georgia, who face off in the College Football Playoff National Championship game. 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV. Bama seeking a 7th national title overall under coach Nick Saban. The Dave Gettleman era with the Giants has ended after a 4th consecutive losing season. He announced his retirement as GM today. His vacancy won't be easy for the Giants to fill, believes ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
I think the biggest gap they have right now, the challenge is, they were once the New York Giants, like a great and proud franchise. I think the biggest challenge is going to be any assistant coach who may have options, any free agent who has options. I think it's going to be a heavy lift to get them to go to the Giants, given just the way they ended.
Mike Tannenbaum on Barton Hahn. Giants coach Joe Judge is expected to return. The Dolphins made a stunning move, fired coach Brian Flores. ESPN's Jeff Darlington reports he was dismissed because of his deteriorating relationships with GM Chris Greer and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. The Bears fired coach Matt Nagy and GM Ryan Pace. The Vikings fired coach Mike Zimmer and GM Rick Spielman.
Could Kirby Smart do some of the same things that Nick Saban did? Could he do the same things with Stetson Bennett and JT Daniels?
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Tuesday, 6 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
You don't think they have a chance at all against the Colts?
No.
Not at all. Okay.
No.
All right.
I mean, you got one team that wants to play. You got another team that wants to go home.
This is 2nd and goal. Lawrence going to throw for it again, and it is a touchdown. Laquan Treadwell.
I mean, one team that's tired of it all, one team that's motivated. You got the best running back in the NFL. You got defense that gets turnovers.
Wentz pulls it down once, now throws, intercepted. Damian Wilson with the interception.
You got an offense that can't score really more than, I'd say, 13 points, but probably more like 10.
Barnes pulled it down and throws to the end zone to Marvin Jones. Did he come down, feet in bounds? He did. Boy, what a depressing loss for Indianapolis here today, and what a stunning victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finish off a horrible season on as high a note as you can get.
I mean, great win, but it's still fire bulky. Yeah. I mean, 3 p.m. tomorrow, he better be gone. If not, all this positivity, out the door.
All right, let's check out the clock.
Uh-oh, what time is it? I told you they'd get it done.
Oh, wow.
I think I picked the Jags to cover.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Very nice job once again, Casey.
Wow.
Casey, I mean, Casey pulls out his best stuff because it only happened 3 times.
I just hope they win 10 games next year, man. That was fantastic.
I don't.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for you.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot that goes into that right there. And the clock continues to tick, and Trent Baalke continues to be the GM. Sorry, dude. I guess all the positivity is gone.
Bummer.
More of that reaction on the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 YouTube page.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of that where Casey and Austin got yesterday.
We had some fun, man. And hey, my bad, because we probably should have been doing that the entire year. Looking back on it now. But next year, we can start doing that some more, because that was fun.
You had a good time out there? You guys talked to a lot of
people.
Wild.
Oh, yeah, it was wild, man. Yeah. Casey, shout out to Casey for getting some good video and everything like that. Yeah, it was chaos, let's just say.
Absolutely. It was a wild day yesterday and a good day. Coffee tastes a little bit better this morning in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
A lot went right for the Jags yesterday. Not only did they win, they bump Indy out of the playoffs. Of course, Trevor plays well. Some young guys play well in the win as well. And they keep the number 1 pick. I mean, really, it's about as perfect a day as you could get for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's not a lot to complain about yesterday other than for the fan base, especially. Trent Baalke still has a job, and that obviously isn't changing. I think what we've learned now is this is not going to end this week. I don't know if you saw the latest report. I think Hackett's going to interview on Friday. So if Hackett's lined up to interview on Friday, they're not running through this thing. They're not hurrying to get the ink signed on a contract with a new coach. And that means I think Trent Baalke's going to be in play. Darrell Bevel was told that he'll have a chance to interview this week sometime. And Trent Baalke is part of that, as we know, and it continues to happen. Here's the deal now, though. Jacksonville Jaguars have a lot of competition in the coaching ranks. And where do the Jags fall in terms of what kind of job it is? A lot of questions will be asked from the candidates, I would imagine.
Absolutely, because now you find yourselves competing with the Miami Dolphins, competing with the Denver Broncos, competing with the Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears, some franchises, that some pros, some cons, but you have a lot of competition to go to. And, if you have that list kind of narrowed down to maybe one or two guys with Doug Peterson or Caldwell or somebody else we're not really talking about that much, yeah, it's going to be kind of cutthroat now of, trying to go get your guy.
And now here's the deal. I think there's also some competition for the good GMs out there because Chicago, Minnesota have GM openings, and so do the New York Giants.
Pittsburgh as well, right?
And Pittsburgh.
I mean, when they're out of whenever their season's done with.
Why does the Minnesota GM get fired, by the way? What did he do wrong? He drafted Jefferson, drafted Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. Yeah, he paid Kirk Cousins, but, I mean.
And Cousins, actually, his numbers have been terrific.
Yeah, that's
enjoying them.
Why'd he get fired?
That's a good point. Maybe because
fresh start, Casey.
I don't know.
Start.
Maybe somebody wants to hit the reset button.
Yeah, man. Fresh start.
And you don't want to stick somebody with someone else.
True.
Which is kind of what's going on in Jacksonville from a perception standpoint. So I will say this. I told you the other day, Friday, I said I'd be nervous if by 3 o'clock we haven't heard anything. We're not going to hear anything. And so I wondered if I'd be as nervous as I thought I'd be. I would say no. I'm still convicted in this, okay? I don't think he's going to be the GM in 2022. I just don't think Trent Baalke is going to be the guy. I know it's an uncomfortable spot right now, and it's a little hard of an explanation of why he then is part of this process. I get it. I don't have the perfect answer for you. But I do think the head coach that is hired of the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be the guy to make the GM move, meaning likely fire Baalke and then go in with Shad Khan and others to help find the next GM. Now, the concern of that is what I just told you. There could be, 3-4 jobs opening, and maybe even more, who knows. And now the Jags have a lot of competition for the GM, so they're really getting, as much as they got ahead on the coaching search if they wanted to, which they did, they're getting behind on the GM search. I don't know how much that matters, but it could be something to keep an eye on. That's if they make a move with Trent Baalke. I predict they will make a move. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of a little nervous, like I have been, just because there have been reports, there has been rumors, there has been smoke, and I understand that Shad Khan doesn't like to reveal too much, but I mean, with all these, national people saying certain things, it makes you wonder just if something did get out and if Trent Baalke is going to be the guy going forward. I think in terms of GMs, there's a lot of possible candidates out there, and one would assume, if you do hire a guy like Caldwell or Peterson, I mean, I don't know. Like, we're sitting here talking about coaches all the time. We don't really talk about GMs that much, just because I feel like there's a lot of possibilities you can go in terms of old GMs, in terms of, player personnel guys to get elevated and get promoted. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities out there in terms of where you can go in the GM angle. So I'm not so worried about maybe necessarily not getting, quote unquote, the best GM, because I couldn't tell you who the best GM candidate even is right now. But at the same time, I still think it's just in terms of optics, in terms of how you're going about things, it's not the best look right now for the Jaguars.
Yeah, here's the deal. There was a lot of talk that keeping Trent Baalke could hinder the Jaguars getting the next coach, the best candidate. That could still be the case if Shad is stuck on keeping Baalke. Again, I don't buy that. I think this is more, what does the head coach have to say about the situation? And you like, Brent, well, he's the one doing the interviews. He's going to endorse so-and-so. He can endorse whoever the hell he wants. Shad's the one making the decision, and I got to believe Shad's smart enough to know, hey, he's endorsing Bill O'Brien because that's the one guy that will work with him or whatever it might be. I'm hoping he is. My point in this is the process of it. I've explained it a lot of times through my lens is I think if it's Doug Peterson, hey, Doug, we're going to offer you the job. Would you like to take the job? Yeah, I would, but I don't want Trent around. I'm going to go find a new GM. Okay. You either accept his answer or not. And I think that's what a lot of coaches will do if they're offered this position. But the one thing I will say, think people said, especially when they saw the Dan Quinn news, is that, okay, people are going to run and hide from this job. They don't even want to be associated with Balky, even if he's in the room. Well, that hasn't really been the case. They're interviewing everybody outside of Dan Quinn. And Dan Quinn, for whatever reason, didn't want to take this job. It could have been Balky, but it could have been a lot of different reasons. And even then I said, why wouldn't you at least interview and go find out? Yeah. And I think that's what these other candidates are doing, and smartly so.
Josh McDaniels or not?
Well, we don't know about that one. Again, there's kind of mixed reviews on that. Did they even – remember Bill Belichick said they weren't – nobody asked for permission to speak to him?
Yeah.
And then there was another report that said McDaniels doesn't like the idea of going down there even and sitting in the room, essentially, with Balky. But he might just not want the Jags job. And Dan Quinn might be the same way. They might not love everything. Hey, there's a chance Dan Quinn doesn't think Trevor Lawrence is as good as a lot of people think Trevor Lawrence is. Josh McDaniels might feel the same way.
But, I mean, Dan Quinn's a defensive-minded guy, though.
Like, I know. There could be a multitude of reasons, I guess, is my point.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dan Quinn didn't want to take the job because he didn't want to risk his next head coaching job to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe. I think he only has one more shot to try to get it right, and he doesn't want it to happen in Jacksonville. I mean, I think eventually Dan Quinn's number will get called again, and I think he wants to go to a better situation. I think with McDaniels, we don't really know what transpired there in terms of does he not like Balky? Did they not just ask him for the heck of it? I'd like to think that if the Jaguars were casting a wide net and trying to get as many candidates as possible, I would hope that McDaniels would at least be on that list to interview somebody.
I do too.
So it kind of shows you like he probably wasn't the most keen on maybe interviewing for the Jaguars.
Yeah, and somebody just said, Donald said I think on YouTube, Dan Quinn is close with George Patton, the Broncos GM, which might be the case, and he's already been requested by the Broncos. So I've told you this for a while now. Whoever these agents are of the coaches, they know the dominoes that are about to fall. Like there are a lot of people inside the circles that knew probably Fangio was out, knew Zimmer was out, knew the options ahead, And so depending on which agent you have, Quinn might have just said, listen, I'm not wasting my time with that. To your point, I'm going to have an interview with Denver. I might even get an interview with Chicago. I might get an interview with Minnesota. We'll see what happens with the Giants. But I'm not as interested in Jacksonville as I might be in some of those other positions. So, again, these dominoes, I think, behind the scenes have already started to fall. And I bet, if you were in a room with Jimmy Sexton right now, he could tell you, and you would put a good bet on where everybody's going to land. Like, I guarantee it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the way it works. Now, it's still going to happen. And I'm not saying there couldn't be some, bumps along the way. Heck, Josh McDaniels turned down Indianapolis after taking it. So, the big stunner of the day is Brian Flores.
Absolutely.
In Miami. I mean, this was like, I tweeted, I was like, whoa, I did not expect to see that. I mean, we had all these rumblings about other jobs, and you could see the writing on the wall. I think he can make, Zimmer, I've not been a big Zimmer fan. His record is pretty darn good, though. Nagy, we knew was happening, even though his record's over 500. Funny thing is, Flores' record is not over 500, but the last 2 years he's been terrific and right on the edge of the postseason. With a pretty average offensive football team, and he fixed it in midseason in Miami this year to do what he did and get them in position to play in the playoffs. How much of a stunner was that Flores gets fired, and are you interested?
It was definitely a stunner just because of the credentials of the record, because he's beat Bill Belichick 3 times, which is pretty impressive in itself. So definitely kind of a shock, but it goes to show you that record doesn't mean everything. Sometimes it's how do you relate to the players? Sometimes it's do you get along with the front office or not? And, there's a lot of rumors coming out of Miami right now, and it's hard to kind of pick like what exactly happened there. But one would assume it probably wasn't necessarily due to the culture that he tried to build, even though he's more of an old school guy, and some players maybe got rubbed the wrong way in terms of quote unquote having to work too hard. But you get the sense that him and the organization, the front office, just maybe didn't see eye to eye on everything, and they kind of had a falling out, and it was between the GM or the head coach. They chose the head coach. GM stays. Brian Flores is out.
Yeah, and that's the story, right? That's just
the GM did stay?
Yeah,
I believe so, yes.
So what in the world's going on? The Minnesota GM gets fired. He didn't really do anything wrong, well, on the surface. And then you have the guy that drafted Tua over Herbert, and he stays?
Yeah, he stays. And that was more, again,
Goodness.
I think what's Austin's saying, if you read some of the national guys that know maybe the Flores situation or maybe they know the Greer side of it, it wasn't anything to do with the record. It was more relationship-wise that maybe his relationship with Tua, some suggested, but also with the GM. And apparently Ross met with both and kind of figured, you know what, I think it's really on Flores. Yeah. And there are some people that are not defending him and said, hey, he created kind of a messy situation at times. They had, co-offensive play callers, I think it was. And so there's a little bit of that going on in Miami. What I would say, though, in Jacksonville is like, wait a minute, if that's in question, and they have the ability to check that maybe more than we do and find out fact from fiction, but I don't want that coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're trying to stay away from that. The one person said...
Keep in mind, you're advocating Doug Peterson, though.
I know.
And that's the exact same thing happened to Doug Peterson.
There's some of those thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess maybe... Well, by the way, I've advocated Jim Caldwell the most.
Okay.
And there was not that. But I have advocated as well for Peterson before other second-year guys came on the market. Like Bowles is second go-around guys. Bowles is a second go-around guy. Doesn't do that much for me. Bill O'Brien, same thing, right? Well, now Flores comes available. I'm not saying I hate the idea of Flores. I'm just saying if there is something there, it feels like Peterson taking a year off, and I'm not sure it's the ultimate cleanser to take a year off, but whatever did happen, he might have learned from it a little bit. And who knows, maybe he was right. But the owner just went into Miami and said, well, Flores was wrong, even though he's got the locker room for the most part, I think. Those guys seem to play hard for him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they seem to like him.
But they're also saying that there are some discrepancies in terms of how he handled practice and things like that that are coming out. So once again, it's it's all hearsay right now. It's a lot of posturing of, well, it was this guy's fault. No, it was this. It's hard to really find out what exactly went down. But that's some things being thrown up. But right now in Miami is how we ran practice.
But it should be. Listen, even if you want to say it is the knock against Peterson in the conversation, what went on there. Yeah. And I do think it is a red flag for anybody coming here right at this moment, given what we just saw here in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer, and quite frankly, what we've seen over a 3-4 year period where it was hard to cultivate success, keep players for a myriad of reasons. I had one person right after, kind of in the last couple of weeks when I was starting to ask about coaches and what fit and all this other stuff. And I think they said something that was pretty interesting if you want to simplify it. It's like, just get rid of the dysfunction. Get rid of the dysfunction. And if at the very least, all you do is get rid of the dysfunction, at least you have a chance, right? Then they got to make the right moves. They got to be good, all this stuff. But get rid of the dysfunction. Don't bring more in. Heck, that's a lot of the reason why everybody is up in arms about Balky. Nobody knows who Balky is. Nobody knows how good of a guy he is. Nobody knows that. Nobody's close to Balky around here. Nobody is. In fact, I'm not even sure there's enough on his resume in Jacksonville alone to say he shouldn't be involved in the organization from a personnel standpoint. I have said I don't think he's done anything to earn the job. But I do think the dysfunction of 5 different coaches in 5 years says volumes to me about Balky, whether it was San Francisco or here, that he's been a part of. And I don't like that. That is my main reason for resetting it. So if you just get rid of the dysfunction, then you do have to be careful. You have to vet the Flores situation very well. You obviously had to vet the Peterson situation very well. And it's still kind of, for me, why I'm still on tops of my list is Jim Caldwell, because I think he could settle this thing down, and you won't have any of that stuff. I don't feel like you'll have any of that stuff to worry about. And once we just talked to the players today, again, Austin, it's unbelievable how bad it was in that building for them. I mean, I know we know and we've said and everybody's kind of heard the stuff, and you kind of say, man, it must be tough, and, it's hard on the rookie. I think what happened today and yesterday and really the last week perhaps has more light got shed on what that locker room went through and how it was so unusual to the degree it was, is really just how hard it was in there for those guys to just play football.
Yep.
And that was real.
Absolutely. And if that's the case, and it truly was that difficult, which I believe it was, and a lot of that has to stem from that Cincinnati incident after the game, I mean, you still have a guy in the building that was an advocate of that gave Urban Meyer the okay and said, yeah, you can go ahead and stay behind and lead the team on the plane. That's fine, and that's Trent Baalke. So, once again, you have a guy left behind from the old regime that helped cultivate that bad energy, that helped cultivate a losing culture, that helped cultivate this losing season. So I am still a little shocked that he is, he's still present on this team and taking care of the interviewing process and all that stuff. But to echo you, yeah, Caldwell has always been my guy because I think it's the least sexiest pick that there is. I think it's boring, and that's exactly what this franchise needs. You need boring, you need simple, and you need a guy who I think comes with an offensive mind. Nothing against Flores and what he brings to the table, but this is obviously a defensive-minded guy. I would much rather have a guy, if we're going to split hairs here, Peterson's I would pick over Flores, but once again, I want more quiet. I don't want any drama. I don't want any red flags at all, and I think Caldwell can be that guy.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Listen, I like the boom or bust kind of play. I like it in the draft sometimes. I like it in free agency. I think it's something to get excited about. And again, I will say I was an advocate for Meyer. I did not know it was going to go like this. I knew there was risk. Mm-hmm. I did not know it was going to go like this. But I'm with you. Give me the most conservative, safe route I can go right now. And I will say that's part of the reason Caldwell is on the top of my list for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think it's flashy. I don't know if he can win you a Super Bowl, quite frankly. I really don't. I can't sit here and tell you he could. But I think he can win football games in the NFL, make you relevant again, and keep you out of the headlines for the wrong reasons. And that's got to stop. That really has to stop. And Shad said it himself. So if you don't think Shad knows this, he said it himself. He in fact, when I asked him 2 days before he fired Urban Meyer, I asked him, is this not the Urban Meyer that you thought you were getting? And he said, listen, it's one thing to lose football games. We've done that in the past. It's another thing to lose with drama, right? So he was aware of it. It stood out to him. Now, does he think the only reason there was drama was Urban Meyer? There's a lot of people in that building. You can tell the players think that it was, I think. But they don't know really if the GM's involved or not. And so that's where the fine line is right now. How much of that drama was helped create by Trent Baalke, or is he just guilty by association, which I believe he is. Guilty by association. See you later. Let's start all over.
So you don't think Baalke gave Urban Meyer the okay to stay in Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah. Well, I do think there was an element of that where he might have just been trying to save everything at the time and defend it.
Okay.
And knew, instead if he says, no, I didn't know, and then it becomes, oh, my gosh, a bigger story.
Okay.
So I'm not convinced either way. I can't tell you for sure that I believe him. I think he might have been trying to cover at the time and say, and he might have. He might have endorsed it. But listen, here's the thing about
either you're a liar or you didn't do the right thing.
Well, here's the thing about Baalke, though, endorsing. Baalke had no control in the building anyway. This is going to sound like a defense. Urban Meyer ran the entire building the last year.
Sure.
You're not going to tell Urban Meyer what to do. He's like,
really?
I don't think you are.
A GM who has NFL experience would tell Urban Meyer what to do?
I don't think he
give
would.
his 2 cents?
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would. Well, listen, that was the problem in the building the whole time. Nobody would tell Urban Meyer anything.
All right.
Nobody would stand up to Urban Meyer in the building.
Okay.
That was part of the problem.
Well, then maybe Baalke not doing so should be the reason why he gets let go. Maybe you should have stood up to Urban Meyer.
And I do blame Baalke for, he's supposed to be the guide of the NFL for a guy who doesn't know the NFL and Urban Meyer. And I do blame Baalke for a lot of that, from some of the moves to the lack of big free agent fish that they got, and to things like that, where you're not coming back on the plane. So I do think Baalke holds some of the responsibility. But I'm telling you, one of the big problems in that building over the last 6 to 8 months is nobody wanted to say boo to Urban Meyer. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, a cold front will bring us scattered showers and cloudy skies. Will top out by mid-morning in the mid to upper 60s, then turning cooler behind the front in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear and chilly, dropping to about 40 degrees. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjic, and that's your Action News Jax First Alert Forecast.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Get the guaranteed lowest price at the only locally owned diamond store in the St. John's Town Center.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
That new doctor is drop-dead gorgeous.
Please, he's just another RV League-educated surgeon with good hair.
No, he's different.
Nurses, we got a Class C motorhome with a detached driver's side mirror. Meet me in the OR. Stat.
Right away, doctor.
No, she's on break. I'll handle this one.
Oh, you conniving little...
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now he speaks Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer. Voted best gift of the year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com.
Start your new year in a like-new car from the pre-owned experts at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 300 used available. All makes, all models. Some even same model year. You've got to see it. And when it comes to buying with confidence, just leave it to my friends at Arlington. Their 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Add some major excitement to your new year and an amazing new ride from Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
I know we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom. How the world connects.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
Really proud of our guys. Everybody was locked in. This could have gone 2 different directions. Could have gone like today or could have gone really bad, knowing that tomorrow starts the off season. We're not playing for the playoffs. This is our last game. Going to see a lot of different faces, like just knowing all those things, and to have a group that really comes out ready to go, locked in, and dominates the game, especially you're playing against a team that is playing for everything. You know, they win this game, they're in. The stakes don't get higher, and just to come out and dominate, it feels really good to finish the season that way.
Trevor Lawrence was the best we've seen yet. I wish they threw it a little more, and I know they were trying to win the game, but I kind of wanted to see him throw it more in the second half. Yeah. I think he only had 7 pass attempts in the second half. They just sat on the ball.
Sure.
I mean, he had the one where it was like down at the 1-inch yard line, so they just kind of ran it out of there and don't do anything stupid, which was smart. But I kind of would have liked to see with like 4 minutes to go, let him put the game away. Let him go get one more, and they just kept running the ball. And then oddly enough, they went for it on 4th down. It was strange. Because they don't get that on 4th down. It kind of breathes a little life maybe into Indy at the moment.
Yeah. Well, and it makes you wonder, too. I mean, they were driving a couple of times out of settle for field goals. I mean, that game could have been an absolute blowout.
They really could have.
An absolute curb stomp if, they could have converted a couple more times.
catches the touchdown before the half.
Yeah.
That was a heck of a play.
Yeah.
And then, you're right. They had the ball inside the 5 and settled.
Yeah.
Even at that time.
Could have had over 30 points for sure.
They could have. Yeah. But I'll tell you, that is
baby steps.
One of the big things this offseason, whoever comes in here, and some of this on the rookie quarterback, but I don't think it was necessarily yesterday, but some of it is throughout the season. Their red zone offense was atrocious. And I don't even know the numbers. It's certainly not good when you're worse in the league in scoring. It can't be good. But they have got to get that fixed because they had a lot of situations where, like, they definitely should have scored touchdowns. We're not talking like 1st and goal from the 9. We're talking like 1st and goal from the 3 and the 2. And they couldn't get in. I mean, that's ridiculous.
So, in terms of red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns only, the Jaguars were 29th overall in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which to me is surprising they weren't dead last, honestly.
Me too. I'm surprised they weren't 33rd.
Yeah. But shout out to the New York Giants, Detroit Lions, and the Chicago Bears for taking home that spot.
Wow, the Bears were that bad, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of openings now in the NFL. And by the way, news out of New York, Joe Judge, some people have reported that he's safe, but he's meeting with Mara this afternoon.
Uh-oh.
So there could be a 7th opening, potentially, if they decide to pull the plug on Joe Judge. 7. Or there's 6 right now.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of competition now for the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's something to keep an eye on. There's no reason to break down the game necessarily from yesterday.
Why not?
Well, I guess there is.
It's a dub, man.
Well, it's like,
Victory
where
Monday.
are they going? They're going into the offseason, right? So
yeah.
I don't believe in the momentum. By the way, I love if you win, you can ask that question, and that's great. But there's no momentum. The next game is 9 months away. They're 3-14. That's the momentum they carry. And by the way, you can get – it's a weird league where you go from 5-11 to 10-6 or, 5-12 to 10-7 and make the playoffs and make a run to the Super Bowl. Or you were 13-4 and then you go 5-12 the next year. That's the way the league is built. So there's absolutely no momentum. But it was nice to finish off and see what they could be and ask the question, where was some of that this year? They weren't going to be good enough to play like that for 17 games. But why didn't we have more of those kind of days where the offense looked like it was in rhythm, looked fast? They still had 5 or 6 drops in the game, so that wasn't it. But they knew how to line up. Their defense was absolutely sound and terrific yesterday against the Indianapolis Colts. I guess I just don't know why we didn't see more of that, Austin, in a 17-game stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think from the defensive side of things, I mean, it really echoed what you saw against Buffalo when the Jaguars pulled out the 9-6 victory against the Buffalo Bills, where, there was a primary focus of stopping the running game. And they stacked the box. They dared Carson Wentz to beat him. And, I was a big advocate of Carson Wentz, but these past 2 weeks against the Jaguars and against the Raiders, for whatever reason, man, he did not look like an NFL-ready quarterback. It looked like he had the yips out there or something. So, when you couple that with, Jonathan Taylor having an okay day, I mean, he had 77 yards rushing off 15 attempts only, but, all things considered, I was expecting more of a 200-yard day for Jonathan Taylor, but it goes to show you once again, Joe Cullen putting a precedent on stopping the run. And then how they got it done in the backfield in terms of the quarterback sacks, it was a slew of different things. They would blitz 5, they would blitz 6. It would be a 4-man blitz, or I'm sorry, 4-man pressure with like a twist game. I mean, they kept that offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts guessing. And that offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts, not a bad offensive line when they're fully healthy. So,
and they were healthy.
Yeah. So I thought you saw, Josh Allen showing what he's capable of every single game, what we should have saw the entire season. Dwayne Smoot had I think he got $200,000, was it, or something, due to the $250 for the bonus. Congratulations to him. But you saw
Diapers
everybody on that defense. Exactly. Damian Wilson had everyone was getting involved and they're flying around out there. And the offensive side of the ball, I don't know what to tell you. You saw LaVisca being used in different kind of sets, and when he caught the ball, good things happened. You saw Trevor Lawrence have time in the pocket, which was great. But it's great to celebrate, and it's great to end the season on a high note because, those players are obviously playing for pride, and I get all that. But then you see that game and how it went down against the Colts, who obviously were playing for the playoffs, and you go, well, how come we couldn't get more of that the entire season?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we saw it against the Bills. It was a very similar game from a defensive standpoint. We never really saw that kind of efficient offense, I would say, all year. Mm-hmm. They had some scoring opportunities in other games, maybe like even the Jets game. They just couldn't finish it off, right? Mm-hmm. So they did some good things at times. I just don't know how they could be that wildly inconsistent. And I do go back. Listen, it's either poor coaching, and I think there was some poor coaching at times. And I'm not just talking about Urban Meyer. Listen, everybody in that building can blame their bad year and their bad coaching and their bad everything on Urban Meyer. And that's fine. He's part of it. But it's not all. There was bad coaching I saw at many a times. There were people that regressed. There was not a lot of growth across the board from week 1 to week 17. That goes on positional coaching as well. Mm-hmm. And then there was just poor play. Is that just not focused? Now, that could maybe go back to Urban a little bit. Is that just not making plays, or is that just not being good enough? And I think the bottom line is it's a mixture of everything to get that wildly inconsistent, to have the peaks. I mean, they won the 3 games they won were against winning teams. Mm. They couldn't beat Houston. They got blown out by Houston essentially twice. Mm-hmm. And they beat 3 winning teams, including 2 like that. People thought Indianapolis down the stretch was one of the best teams in the league. Mm-hmm. And Buffalo might be one of the best teams in the league. Miami's a little iffy, but especially at the time they beat them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, NFL's crazy to begin with, but the Jags made no sense in the way they performed. And it's not even the high spots, it was the low spots, and how many low spots. The Seattle game. The New England game, they had a little bit of excuse because of COVID, and they probably just aren't deep enough. But there were just too many bad outings week 1 against Houston. So they have to fix that. They have to be a little more consistent to give themselves a chance each and every game. And that probably starts with turnovers in the QB, but also goes on the other side of the ball, just playing sound football. Like, I have hammered this team at times this year for lack of football IQ. I didn't notice that at all yesterday. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought they were all kind of in the spots they needed to be. They seemed like they executed the game plan. Like, I can't explain why that would show up 1 week but not 3 weeks earlier. Mm-hmm. Like, that seems like a very simplistic thing to know where to be.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. So, I tell you what must have drove crazy, especially on the defensive side, is a guy like Joe Cullen.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I don't think they're going to keep anything. I think they're going to hit the reset button. I mean, they're going to interview Darrell Bevell tomorrow for the head coaching job. They're not making Darrell Bevell the head coach. I mean, I would say they have a way better chance of keeping Trent Baalke as the GM than making Darrell Bevell the head coach, and I don't think Baalke's still going to be the GM. So, but the problem with this organization right now is I don't care what the players say, and they feel like they had some momentum, and they feel like they did some good things, just not enough good things. They are going to have to start over. And when you start over with a new regime, that's new terminology, new playbook, new understanding for what that coach wants, your position coach wants, you have a new staff, and they're going to have a lot of that. And initially what they're going to do as a football team, a 3-14 football team who has a number 1 pick and is probably the worst team in the league, is they're going to initially go backwards from where they were right now to end the year because they have to start over. Mm-hmm. They have to learn it all over again. So there's no it's your old saying of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Well, that's what this organization constantly does because they have to change the coaching staff and recycle and reset and all that stuff. If they could ever get 3 straight years of somewhat success, now you're really snowballing things, at least from a player-to-player perspective. And you're welcoming in new free agents and new draft picks, not your entire 90-man roster has to adapt to something new.
No, absolutely. But that goes to show you, like, if you have the talent at certain positions, you can be a first-year guy with a new scheme, a new system, and be successful. I mean, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think anybody really gave the Eagles a shot this year in terms of winning, and, they ended up going to the playoffs because of the scheme and because of Jalen Hurts or whatever you want to say. but they're a playoff team now. Now, they may not be the favorite to win everything, but they're still going to the playoffs. So, yeah, I understand definitely what you're saying, where you got to start this whole thing anew, new scheme, new terminology, and that takes time. That's why OTAs, thankfully you still have those as of now, because OTAs are crucial for a new team trying to learn all this stuff. But it can be turned around in a year if you have the right guys in the building, if you have the right leadership at your disposal.
Yeah, so we'll see. Now, here's the deal. The latest on the coaching front, Bevel reportedly will interview tomorrow. He confirmed today to us that he will interview, and he was asked by Trent Baalke. That was an interesting note, right? Because Baalke's the one that said, hey, we want you to come in for an interview. Mm-hmm. We believe this is a courtesy interview, but hey, you know what? Good for Bevel to get that. He did some good things, I'm sure, inside that building in a tough situation in the last month. I've still been very critical of his offense with Trevor Lawrence and his – I don't think he did a great job with Trevor, or as good a job with Trevor as they could have done, quite frankly. Then Hackett's going to go on Friday, it sounds like. So, again, this now extends the search. I think that's a big part of the story. Wasn't it last Thursday? Not last Thursday, like the Thursday prior that Doug Peterson interviewed? So you're going to go more than 2 weeks of interviews from the Thursday when Peterson, we believe, was the first guy to potentially, if he is the last guy, Hackett on Friday. That's 15 days of interviews.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So this is an extensive search, and the Jaguars are obviously not rushing to get this done and trying to beat every other team. I don't know what that says. That actually makes me a touch nervous. Yeah. Maybe on the Baalke front. Maybe that's where I might be getting nervous in 3 o'clock hour on a Monday. We'll see. Steven's on the line. Let's get him in quick. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. You're welcome to call, too, 904-362-9901. What's up, Steven?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Another day. Same stuff, different day, pretty much, at work. Mine's more like a what if. I know Brent just gave his opinion on it. But with the Bill O'Brien thing and now the Bevel, do you think Baalke's trying to get guys that might work with him all of a sudden? And a second part question, and I want to get your opinion on it. Given his play the past few weeks, I mean, would you sign Treadwell to a short-time deal, maybe as a fourth or fifth receiver after a lot of his consistent play?
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. As for Treadwell, hey, I bring him back and give him a chance. He's a free agent. I wouldn't mind that. I also, if he ends up going somewhere else, I also don't mind that. But if you want to keep some continuity around Trevor, he obviously has a relationship with Treadwell. If you keep some of these guys around, that's okay. But to me, he's just a depth play. I don't even know where Laviska Shenault fits. I want him on the roster, but I think he's going to have to show us a heck of a lot more, and I can't rely on him to be my top 2 guys and not even my top 3. He's probably fighting for a 4th spot if I do what I'm supposed to do in the offseason. And Chark becomes the biggest priority for the Jags. I mean, I think they now have to bring him back because at least they can get him to a deal. They're comfortable with him. They know what they have in him. The organization does. I think Chark's probably the most important signing of what's on this football team right now.
Yeah, I agree as well, because in free agency, Mike Williams kind of showcased some stuff last night, but are you confident with having Mike Williams be your number 1 overall? Is it going to be like a 1A, 1B situation with like a DJ Chark and a Mike Williams, and you have Marvin Jones?
I'd be okay.
And whatever. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be better than what you got right now, and I'm all for that. So definitely throw the checkbook at it. Then to answer the second question in terms of, Trent Baalke and Bill O'Brien, yeah, there is a relationship there. Right? And I think if I'm the GM right now of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and maybe I am on thin ice, maybe the seat is kind of hot, I'm trying to bring in guys that I get along with. I'm trying to bring in guys that endorse me, and I think Bill O'Brien would be one of those guys that actually endorses Trent Baalke.
Well,
so
I think
it kind of makes sense.
I think he would too, Austin, and because of this. And this is why it's such a selfish play, and this has nothing to do with getting the Jaguars better. This is all internally motivated by what's good for me, what's good for Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien would not have an opportunity to coach at any of the openings in the NFL right now. I don't think anybody's bringing Bill O'Brien in.
Not as a head coach.
But the Jaguars are going to be willing to bring Bill O'Brien in because he's one guy that would work with Trent Baalke. Do I have to keep repeating myself? If nobody else in the NFL wants these guys in that job, why do the Jacksonville Jaguars want these guys in those jobs? Stay away. Trent Baalke's not doing an interview for any GM job this year. You don't want him as your GM then. Bill O'Brien, he might be an OC somewhere, but he's not going to be a head coach. Get him off my list.
What time is it? Monday, 3:44? Yep.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Don't let a cold keep you up. Take NyQuil Severe for max strength relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms so you can rest tonight and get back at it tomorrow. NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms. NyQuil Severe temporarily relieves common cold and flu symptoms, including cough, sore throat, headache, minor aches and pains, fever, runny nose, and sneezing. NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Now is the time to get an estimate on replacement windows. American Window Products of Jacksonville is a high-volume dealer offering a huge selection of products to keep your costs low. New windows from American Window Products can lower your energy costs and increase your curb appeal and security, all without breaking the bank. Call American Window Products for a free estimate at 904-667-0873 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good. It's more than food. It's about the flavor, the tradition. It's barbecue, and it's who we are at Bono's. Locally smoked since 1949. Almost 20 locations around Jacksonville. On the menu, smokehouse stackers, sandwiches, salads, sides, and Bono's family feast. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Authentic traditional Southern barbecue. Feel the flavor, feel the community. Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good.
Hello, this is the Crooks Are Us Tips line with an urgent announcement regarding Safe Touch security.
As a crook, by now you surely know the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
But we just received word that may not be enough now.
Wait till you hear this.
Credible reports have surfaced that Safe Touch security cameras captured one of our associates in the act of breaking into a house. Only the camera was from a neighbor's house across the street.
That is so not fair.
And what this means is it's not enough to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Now we gotta stay way away from Safe Touch houses.
Boss, does that mean we gotta change the Crooks Are Us golden rule?
No, just remember the sentiment.
Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Correct. Be safe, fellow crooks. Safe Touch is everywhere.
Receive free equipment and free installation with monitoring agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Small businesses continue to face many challenges resulting from the prolonged pandemic. Business owners are working hard to maintain customers, adjust operations, and retain key personnel. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to offer their assistance. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. In addition to ongoing mentoring, we are conducting webinars on topics that can provide timely advice. Visit jacksonville.score.org today for links with more information.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom.
With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Voted best gift of the year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
I think everybody was kind of saying that to themselves. Not where was this, but just it's always I guess mixed emotions. I wouldn't say always. Today is mixed emotions of we finished the way we want to finish, and you can't ever go back. And that's something I've learned is you got to do everything you can in the moment because you can't go back and change it when it's done. So you don't have regrets, but you do have that feeling of just, man, we could have been doing this all season. It's disappointing to look back and think that, especially some of the close games we lost, and then just games where we didn't play well. But just to think that that's who we are, that's what we can do.
That is Trevor Lawrence. Really had a good first half and made that play, that touchdown to Marvin Jones. I don't think you could say enough about it. That's a big-time play that you see a lot of big-time players make. So that was a good sign because you want to see some of those elite plays. I think early in the year we saw some elite throws. That kind of dwindled down, and then that was an elite play. I mean, still think the best part of that play was to escape the rush. It shows his athleticism. I mean, when all that's breaking down, and then the touch pass, because we haven't seen a lot of touch passes from Trevor. A lot of them are rifle throws. That was a great catch, by the way, from Marvin Jones. We got roll call season is doing well today, and we got Montana checking in.
Nice.
And how about Saskatchewan?
Nice.
Trying to find out how cold it is in Saskatchewan.
Shout out to the Rough Riders, man.
There you go, Rough Riders. Very good. I might be giving away some bull riding tickets later this week.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Vancouver Whitecap shirt today. Is that
Are you really?
Yeah. Is that
I mean, might be.
I mean, I got a little French Canadian in me. I mean, here we go.
That could be like us in Tennessee, though. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm just saying we got a lot of Canada in us today.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada on the show.
Yeah, man.
Should we sing it?
Nah, it's good though. I like Go Canada.
It's a good little tune.
Yeah. It's a nice touch during hockey games.
Yeah.
Brent Martineau. Toronto as well, Johnny says. All right. I mean, gosh, we're big in Canada.
Sorry about the Maple Leafs.
We are big in Canada.
Condolences. Oh, hey, they're doing good. Hey, Case, you know what? Maybe this is the year. This could be the year for Toronto.
Could it?
Hey, Johnny, go check out the Four Seasons in Toronto, see if Shad's around.
There we go. I like that.
Congrats on the Raptors a couple years ago.
Also, Jared Odrick has a place up in Toronto, so you might run into him in the grocery store.
Nice.
Or Drake.
Toronto is a pretty big place. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's super big.
You could see Drake. Apparently, Aiden Ross lives there now, too. You know who Aiden Ross is?
Why do I know that name?
I can't imagine you know who Aiden Ross is.
I feel like I've heard the name. Maybe you guys have said it before.
I don't think I know who Aiden Ross is.
He's a streamer.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who he is.
Heard that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Different Ross.
Brent's trying to disassociate. I don't know any streamers now.
David Ross.
Yeah, there you go.
A little bit different.
How about everybody's fantasy football maybe came to a close last week?
Mm-hmm.
Poor Casey.
You hate to see
we go into week 17.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was getting mad at you last week because I think we have to give a heads up to whoever's in the finals to make sure they put their lineup in. Well, Aaron, new boss man Aaron, he was playing Casey, and I'm kind of rooting for Casey to lose. You over here said sorry about your loss yesterday, but I was rooting for Casey to lose because he beat me and then bragged about it on social media and everything. And so Aaron, who I don't really run into very often, he has the best team all year long. But last week, he has Kirk Cousins and doesn't realize, like, Cousins is out with COVID.
Yeah.
And so he plays Cousins against Casey. Yep. And he sits Devontae Adams for some reason. Like, he didn't check his lineup.
So it's my responsibility as the commissioner to remind people to set their lineups?
Well, if we want Casey to lose, it is.
And I got you. So to put it to you this way, if someone would have told Aaron to put Devontae Adams in, I would have won. Because all of his receivers had more points than Devontae Adams that he played.
Well, not if he played last week, too, though.
Oh,
because it's a 2-week final.
I mean, we'd have to go back and check last week. Did he go off last week?
I think he had a pretty good game last week.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he had 2 touchdowns.
And Cousins, that's my point. Like last week, you wouldn't have built a big lead. But meanwhile, Casey's got this huge lead. I didn't even think I thought he had already won. I checked it.
Yeah.
Like in the afternoon.
Oh, no, you got to earn that.
Well, then Eckler, last night Eckler does well. But you know who Casey has? Casey has Carlson, the kicker for the Raiders.
It's a bummer.
And Casey lost. Casey, how much did you lose by this championship?
0.8.
0.8.
You hate to see it.
He kicked a field goal if they just tied the game.
You hate to see it, man.
Or he even said if they kicked a 39-yarder instead of a 47-yarder, he still would have won the game, would have won the championship.
Yep.
That's how Casey lost 5 for 5 field goals from Carlson in Oakland, Las Vegas, where the hell they are.
21 points from the kicker.
And by the way, like Eckler even got added stuff down the stretch because of those crazy 4th down plays from.
They combined for 47.8, and I lost.
Man. Casey, like I said, man, I walked in there. Condolences, dude.
So there's 2 people that if I run into in the street, it's on site. The first one is whoever coaches the Chargers, Staley.
Yeah, Staley.
I'm punching him square in his throat.
Yep, I like that. I like that a lot.
Samaje Perine.
Everybody else in charge of it.
Man.
Samaje Perine did not play a snap when Joe Mixon was out.
I saw that. I did see you had a goose egg for him, so he just didn't play?
Yeah, didn't play. Everyone said, hey, starting running back, Samaje Perine. So I don't know, but I'm going to punch him square in the throat. He'll probably then beat me up, but it's worth it.
You probably didn't sleep very well last night.
I really didn't.
Yeah, that actually would have bugged me. Like, there's no even money on the line, but that would have bugged me.
I'm just glad that my phone was off when Casey was texting because, like, he texted like around 12:30, letting us know what happened, man. But yeah,
and you know what? I knew he wasn't going to miss. Like Carlson,
he
never misses.
Pretty good.
But
I was like,
I only thought he might miss like intentionally.
Yeah.
Like I was like, maybe somebody he knows on the other team and wants them to go to the playoffs and just yanks one.
I love it, man. This isn't SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't mean more here. Send that opponent home. Send your division rival home here.
We'll talk a little bit about that game.
You think the Raiders keep their coach?
I tell you, I feel like they have to.
Chargers better not. Guy's an idiot.
I feel like they have to. Let's talk a little bit around some of the things around the NFL, including that game. It was unbelievable. I mean, the NFL is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what a reality show.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, let's give away a couple tickets to the Iceman All-Star Game a week from today. And let's go with the hat trick number 3, 904-362-9901. 904-362-9901. A week from today, it's the ECHL All-Star Game right here in Jacksonville. Was supposed to be last year, moved to this year, and it's almost game time. Puck drops next Monday night. We're giving away tickets to the game right now. 904-362-9901. We'll be back talking more football, Jags, coaching search, Balky, and the NFL playoffs on the way on ESPN 690.
Florida children are eligible for head-to-toe coverage through the Florida Kid Care Program, which is high-quality, affordable health and dental coverage with cost as low as $15 a month. To assist families applying for Florida Kid Care or Medicaid and increase enrollment in the Florida Kid Care Program, the Players Center for Child Health with Wolfson Children's Hospital offers free application assistance. For appointments, call 904-202-WELL. That's 904-202-9355. Habla Español.
Having someone to talk to can change a life.
Cried out to her. She talked me through my depression.
Or even save a life.
I probably wouldn't be here at all. Not only in this room, but just not here at all if I didn't have the help.
If you need someone to talk to, Jewish Family and Community Services is here with in-person trained counselors or through teletherapy. JFCS is here for Jax. Visit jfcsjax.org.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. A college football champion will be crowned tonight. SEC rivals Alabama and Georgia clash in the College Football Playoff National Championship game. MegaCast begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN TV, and other ESPN platforms. The Dolphins with an unexpected move on this Monday. They fired Coach Brian Flores. ESPN's Jeff Darlington reporting he was dismissed because of his deteriorating relationships with GM Chris Greer and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Monday Night Football analyst Louis Riddick.
It's surprising to me that the general manager stays and Brian goes. But look, this is an organization that right now, they have a lot of nice pieces to work with down there. And now it'll just be important that Stephen Ross really gets someone to really pair with their general manager to kind of have the kind of relationship that they want, which obviously was something that they didn't have.
Louis Riddick on This Just In. The Bears fired Coach Matt Nagy and GM Ryan Pace. The Vikings fired Coach Mike Zimmer and GM Rick Spielman. This offseason for the Giants will include a search for a new general manager. Dave Gettleman announcing his retirement as senior vice president and GM. New York had 4 straight losing seasons in his 4-year tenure. Coach Joe Judge expected to return to the Giants.
If you want to find quality new hires in the new year, post on Indeed. When you sponsor a post, you'll get matched instantly with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our app makes it simpler to get supplies ordered and delivered. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and last-second supply runs. Job site delivery puts what you need where and when you need it. And rental puts the right equipment in your hands, but not your overhead. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Is that a horse?
Actually, it's a wild stallion. Since Navy Federal Credit Union's Platinum Card made it easier to tame our holiday debt, I wanted to see if I could tame something else. Help me saddle up. I need to pick the kids up from school.
With a low intro APR on balance transfers, the Platinum Credit Card lets you take control of your debt. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/Platinum offer. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
You guys are still tied. You're driving. This thing could have ended in a tie. Chargers call a timeout. How did that shift the strategy?
Yeah, it definitely did, obviously. But we knew no matter what, we didn't want to tie. We wanted to win the football game. Obviously, if you tie, you're in, and I think all those things. But my mindset all day I even was texting with Aaron Rodgers this morning. Yeah, my mindset was to make sure that we were the only team moving on after this.
That's Derek Carr. Good for him. He's really resurrected his career. He's played pretty well. He made a clutch throw in overtime on, I think it was a 3rd and 8. He's not elite, but he's pretty good and good enough to get the Raiders in the postseason. And after, what is he, drafted in 2014? And he'll play in the playoffs for the first time. He had a broken leg last time the Raiders made it. So pretty good stuff there. I mean, that was an unbelievable football game. Yeah. I just can't get over sometimes the NFL. It doesn't matter what they could do. And you can not like some of the things, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. They can. I said to somebody yesterday, it was like they could like pee in the middle of the road, it would turn to gold. I mean, it was just like they can do anything, and they have again. Really, they go into Sunday, and there's really not a lot on the line overall. I mean, Indy looks like they're going to win, and then you got the one big game.
Yeah,
San Francisco game mattered still. So not a ton. Like in week, I thought there'd be a lot more jockeying in the last week. Well, then, of course, the Jags pull the upset, so that puts a lot of other things in play, makes the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game fascinating. It goes to overtime. And then you get last night, the final game of the longest regular season ever, and the game wouldn't end.
Yeah.
And the way it played out was just fantastic. The overtime, I just thought those final couple minutes, you really didn't know what was going on. You had no idea if they would sit on the ball, play conservative, end in a tie, break away for a touchdown, and the Chargers would be like, oh, my goodness, or what happened. And that is they broke a run and kicked a field goal and sent the Chargers home and Pittsburgh to the playoffs.
And from the Raiders' stand, like you could tell they're playing conservative. I mean, the Raiders weren't trying to win the game. You know, now we can talk about the we can talk about the timeout and everything, but I think once that timeout happened, and then obviously Jacobs, I think it was, broke the one for
10 yards.
10 yards it was. Yeah, I mean, that changed the whole dynamic of the game, and you went from saying, hey, we'll just, let's not turn the ball over, let's not make a dumb mistake, to, well, we got one of the best kickers in the league, try to win this whole thing.
Yeah, and you just, listen, they're division rivals, so you try to win a game because you want to win and you're a competitor, and that says a lot. But for the last game to be like the best game of the year and have all that on the line, and you have 3 fan bases on the edge of their seat.
Yeah,
I just thought it was unbelievable theater. You can't write it up. I mean, that's what sports does for us sometimes. Sometimes it delivers, and sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, my goodness, I mean, the scenarios that could have played out there. I disagree, by the way, with the Staley stuff. I don't understand why everybody's talking about the timeout so much. The thing that changed their mind was the fact that Jacobs ran for 10 yards. They were ready. They were in
after the timeout.
After the timeout.
Yeah.
But it's not like they called the timeout and saved them an extra play. The clock is down to like 3 seconds when they called timeout. So I think what Staley was trying to do is say, we don't want a bust that goes for a touchdown or goes for something longer where they can set up a field goal. We want to make sure we're on point. We got the personnel. Like, I knew where he was coming from before the play. He was just trying to get it set up.
But Eckler even said at the press conference that Carr told him that their whole mindset changed in terms of kicking that field goal after the time. I mean, maybe Carr's lying.
I mean, that's what he just said in the sound.
I know, but I don't think. My point being, I don't think that it did change. They were running a play. They were going. What changed is the result of the play they ran.
Okay.
So, like, if they don't call timeout, right, and Jacobs runs for 10 yards on that play, I think they are going down to 2 seconds, calling a timeout and kicking it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, but in that situation, like, does he just go down because, there's a tie? I think the timeout pissed him off, and they're like, let's do it.
Yeah, I didn't see the timeout as like this but Staley's trying to win the game or anything. I think he was really just trying to get the X's and O's right so they didn't give up a bust play.
Yeah, but also, I mean, before that timeout, let's say that maybe there's a different play and maybe they run for 1 or 2 yards. Like, do they try a longer field goal then and maybe it's out of range and all of a sudden they're not going to risk it? Exactly.
I agree with that.
You take a knee. So
okay, but let me tell you this then, Austin. Here's my point of it.
Yeah.
I think they call timeout, so there's 38 seconds to go.
Sure.
They run the play.
Correct.
Right? And it goes for a yard or two.
Yep.
And I think they let the clock run out. Whether they called the timeout or not, they were going to let the clock run out if the play does nothing. The fact that the play went for 10 yards sets up a field goal that's reasonable and it says, hey, you know what? Let's go win this thing. We got one of the better kickers in the league. But if the kick is from like 54 yards, I don't think they try it. 55 yards, I don't think they try it. Because now it's a little lower. You might bring a block in. Why would you do that? And so I think Carr... Like, I understand what Carr was saying, but I think because of the way that interview was right after the game, I don't think the timeout changed it. I think the result of the play, whether it was with a timeout or not a timeout, is actually what changed the mindset of the Raiders. That's what I thought. And so I think because of the comments of Carr, Staley was getting hammered.
Well, and the coach, too. What's the coach's name again? The Raiders coach?
Yeah.
I forget it. He even said, that guy. He even said, too, that, there was talks of just taking the knee, but things kind of changed when the timeout was called. So I think, I think it did change
like the
things
first
a little bit.
I do, too. The first 2 plays they ran before that, I mean, it wasn't anything that serious. They ran for like 2 yards, and one they got stuffed, and they were in the same formation.
But if you're the Chargers, and regardless of what you think about the timeout, you got to stop the run.
That's it.
I mean, there's
how are you not ready for
it? Yeah.
I mean, you knew. So, it was like, remember when it was like they
I
had
don't feel
the ball?
bad for the Chargers.
Remember when they had the ball in like the 40?
I don't feel Chargers are trash.
Remember they had the ball like the 48-yard line after the first down to Carr through the nice throw?
Yeah.
And they had it. And did you remember the run blitz basically the Chargers had on and they stuffed Jacobs in the backfield?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's what I expected to see on the third down. After the timeout, or even if they didn't take a timeout, they had to sell out for the run. And somehow Jacobs was able to get 10 yards. I can't believe they let him go for 10 yards in that situation.
The Chargers got me twice right there, too, because I was putting together, or I was editing the predictions from before the season for the AFC and the NFC, like I was seeing who won type thing.
Oh, yeah.
And if the Chargers just tie, if that game ties, I win. I beat both of you because I had the Chargers as a wild card.
No kidding.
And everybody had one wild card at that point. But they lose, and then the Raiders outright win, so now we all had one wild card, and then we all had 3 division winners. So they messed me up in fantasy. They messed me up in the AFC predictions.
Wait, so we all tied then?
We all tied.
In our predictions?
Yep. We all had one wild card in the AFC. We all had one wild card team, and we had 3 of the division winners.
Who won overall, though?
So, hold on.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you had that answer ready to go.
Well,
no
there's
worries.
2 different graphics. So we got the AFC, we all tied. And then the NFC, here's what happened. More or less, Austin, you win.
Okay, cool. That's all I had to hear. The end.
It depends on how you look at it, though.
That's the way to look at it.
Okay, sounds good. You had all the division winners, and you had 2 of the wild card teams. But then you had the Eagles winning the division, although they didn't technically win the division.
They didn't.
So, that's like half a point.
I'll take that.
And then Brent would have had all the division winners, but he had the Rams as a wild card. So,
Do you like the way the season played out? Like, I said this to somebody yesterday. I didn't hear anybody complaining about 17 games. Now, maybe they do later in the year.
Yeah.
But I expected to hear a little more fuss.
From the players or from...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear... Maybe I missed it. Did I miss some? Like, I don't hear people complaining, injuries, bodies, all that stuff. Like...
Yeah, I didn't hear too much. Was it Brady or Rodgers that said something about it, though?
Like recently? Or way back?
No, I thought it was like a couple weeks ago. It was some interview that they were doing. Maybe it might have been Rodgers for the Monday night game.
It might have been.
We're talking to Manning.
I guess my point, though, is like, okay, if one person say it, but there's not a lot of people complained about when you have a first and when you change things up, people complain.
Well, I think there's complaining in the locker room, but we don't hear it.
So you do?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I think there's players that are banged up that are complaining, why are we doing this extra game? But, like, as far as in the media, like, it makes no sense to complain about it. You know, like, you have to focus on the next week ahead.
Yeah. I just wonder, too, it's like some teams still alive, and they're like, well, I'm glad we're playing an extra week. We're still alive for the postseason.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you who doesn't mind it. DeJuan Smoot and Marvin Jones.
Oh, for
played an extra week and got a cool $500,000 and $250,000.
Got paid, man. Yeah.
Do you think they should incentivize more? More than just like season-ending incentives?
As in?
Like, do you buy that those guys played maybe harder or maybe with more intention?
Yeah.
Because of what was on the line. By the way, the Jags aren't the only team. I mean, Gronkowski had extra stuff. Everybody, a lot of people have extra stuff on the line.
Yeah.
I think I heard Marvin Jones, by the way, say like if he had caught 2 more passes, he would have got another $500,000. I think it was every 5 all the way up to 90, he was going to get another cha-ching.
Nice.
So I guess I had some folks saying like maybe they should incentivize more. Like give me a halfway through the season incentive.
Yeah.
Every month give us an incentive. Build the contracts that way, and maybe these guys really lock in. Listen, I know if I'm going for $500,000, I'm probably going a little faster.
No,
my
but
route
keep
running.
in mind sometimes though, like when you have all these incentives, then you take away something else. So maybe that's the guaranteed. Maybe that's the overall. Like, usually some things get taken away with all these incentives.
Yeah, that's true. These playoffs are set. What's your favorite matchup?
Ooh, there's so many juicy
doesn't it have
ones.
to be the Monday night matchup? Arizona and the Rams?
I mean, I like it. I think it's Monday night. I mean, to me, the Bills-Patriots one's just interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating too.
Because, the way both games have gone. 49ers, Cowboys. Okay.
That's a good. People like the throwback of that, right?
Yeah.
By the way, that was a hell of an effort by San Francisco. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. From the bad throw, and Ramsey with an unbelievable interception to what he did down the stretch. That was incredible.
Throw it to Brandon Ayuk, and I win fantasy. 1 catch for -6 yards, and I win.
I would probably say I'm the most excited for the Bills-Patriots. This is the grudge match.
Yeah.
Take 3.
That's a good one.
Bengals, Raiders.
Really?
Yeah, I love Joe Burrow. And they can win.
I'll tell you what I like.
That they can.
Glenn just said that. Raiders going to Cincy. Joe Burrow against Max Crosby. And it's not really how I pitted Raiders and Cincy, but I got you.
Well, they're not going to be able to block him. We found that out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, the right side of that line for the Chargers. Whew.
Yeah, but the Bengals?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
You know what I like about that game? It's new blood. Feels like it's a new blood, so I kind of like that. I'm intrigued by that. But one thing about San Francisco, did you hear how loud it was in L.A.? Like, people poke at the Jags for having visiting fans, and we do. Like, San Francisco, I was stunned at how many fans were here.
Yeah.
But, again, you go way back now. Today's the anniversary, like Montana to Clark. Like, and you think about all those years and Jerry Rice and Montana and Steve Young and you forget about them as being such a traditional organization and a very successful one. But if you heard, like, in the final 2 minutes of that game when the Rams were trying to answer, it was like a home game in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They took a wide shot. You could see red everywhere. It was amazing. That's a great rivalry anyway in sports, right? San Fran, L.A.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe how many people were there for the 49ers. And Vegas is kind of like that, too.
Yeah.
Because you'll get, like, it's transient.
Well, I was going to say,
Again,
it's
L.A., Vegas.
It's a longer drive, I'm sure, from San Fran to L.A., but it's doable.
But a lot of San Francisco people probably now live in L.A.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so a lot of San Francisco or other fans now live in Vegas or around the Vegas area or want to go see a game in Vegas because it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. That's why we shouldn't get so crazy about that stuff around here. That's the same thing in Florida. You play Miami, you play Tampa, you play Jacksonville. There's a lot of reasons for the crowds to be bigger of the opponent. I mean, it just makes some sense. So I just was blown away. I mean, the Rams, everybody thinks like they're good. It's L.A. Rams are kind of the staple team there, one of the staple teams. And, man, those San Francisco 49ers fans, they show out.
Oh, yeah, because the Rams are still babies compared to the 49ers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the 49ers have been doing it forever.
Yeah,
you know what the line
LA
is in that
fans
game,
are
by the
iffy
way?
anyway, aren't they?
Say
On the
what?
football stuff, L.A. fans are kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
like how many
we saw how the Kings celebration went for the Stanley Cup.
And you know how many people are
5 people showed up.
how many people are giving Staley a hard
Their
time?
own families didn't even show up to the what?
Do the Chargers even have fans
Not anymore.
in L.A.?
Yeah, really.
Not anymore.
They had some cool uniforms. I'll give them that.
Not until they fire the coach. He's got to go.
I'll tell you this. I think the Chargers are a scary thing. Chargers and really Indy kind of fits this too. You talk about good football teams with a lot of good players. Indianapolis has 7 Pro Bowlers. Think about what the Chargers did. The Chargers have Justin Herbert, who's playing unbelievable football his first 2 years in the NFL. They go draft a left tackle who is the best or one of the best in the league this year. Not just a rookie, but he's like all-pro level kind of talent. Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, receivers all over the place, right? They've got Derwin James. They've got Joey Bosa. I mean, they've got stars all over. They can't make the playoffs. Like, how do you not make the playoffs if you're the Chargers? You know why?
Down to coaching, Brent.
Because you lost to freaking Houston Texans and got blown out by them.
That doesn't help things. Yeah, that's for sure.
And by the way, Houston Texans riding with Culley, it looks like.
As they should.
Oh, that's a good call. I didn't think about Houston.
They should. I mean,
they should.
They played hard. Like, they were good, kind of. Low key. Down the stretch, they were good. Davis Mills was good, too.
Yeah.
Low key. Ride with it.
Ride with it. What question do you have about the betting here, Casey? The
49ers, Cowboys. What's
49ers, Cowboys? We have Cowboys -3.5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cowboys -3.
49ers money line.
Oh, yeah. You think so?
100%.
Oh, Casey.
A trend will say so because Cowboys been awful in the postseason.
100%.
I don't think so. I wouldn't go there. I
also said Chargers huge. So book it.
Bills -4.5. Patriots.
Yeah.
And by the way, I will say this. I think the coaching staff of the Raiders has done a fantastic job, to your point. I think they have to bring them back. I mean, you go to the playoffs, I feel like
especially
you have
with
to
all
bring
that
them back.
drama and they had more now. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, what more do you want? You know, I mean, you went through all that stuff. You still go to the playoffs in a pretty hard division. And, yeah, I would say it merits keeping your coaching staff for sure.
I think, but
it's also a really appealing job. Like, you might get the best candidate.
It could be right away. Right, the Harbaugh rumors had it linked over. I'm not saying you can't, but I mean, what do you want people to do? Like, what's a message to your players, right? If a coach that does what they did can't earn his job the way, that's what bothers me a little bit. It's like, that's what bothers me about the Balky thing. What has he done to earn the GM job and to keep that through all the changes?
Yeah.
In my estimation, nothing. When you talk about these coaches in the Las Vegas, I think they've earned that job. Like, they have done a hell of a job to earn the right to remain the coaching staff. And you know what? If it doesn't work out after next year, then you move on. But I think they have earned that. And to me, as a player in the NFL, if I'm a player watching this, I'm a little upset at the organization if they make a move. Because I'm like, hey, I've got to come out here and earn my job and do my job. And our coaches, as long as I like them, I think our coaches did that.
Yeah.
Look what they did, and you're telling me that wasn't good enough?
Yeah.
And that's why I say about Culley. Culley's a little bit different in Houston for me. I've told you this last week. I think Culley should stay on because I don't know how attractive Houston is right now. And if I'm a coach, my first move as the Houston Texans coach, getting rid of Deshaun Watson, I don't want that on me. So if I'm Houston, I'm sticking with, first of all, I think he did a nice job, like a really good job, overachieved.
Yeah.
And I would stay through this for another year until you really clean it up, meaning get rid of Watson, let that go through, figure out what you have with Davis Mills, see how next year goes. I think then your job is more attractive in 2023 if it doesn't work for Culley.
Well, wasn't Mayock, so going back to the Raiders real quick, wasn't Mayock kind of on the hot seat too as well, or not? I mean, his job is probably safe too.
I would think. I mean, they fixed their defense. Their defense was something they had to fix.
Yeah.
And they did it. I mean, and Gus, I will say this. You got to be careful. This is why this staff here, they're not all like the worst coaches in the league.
Yeah.
Gus didn't do a good job here as a head coach. He's done a good job as a defensive coordinator throughout the league.
Yeah.
A guy like Greg Olson, who I really think are just the symbolic retread in the NFL, has done a pretty nice job with the offense of the Raiders.
And seriously, if they fired those guys in Las Vegas and if Mark Davis fired me with that haircut, I'd be pissed off too, though. You ever see that haircut he's rocking?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's rough.
How
if
can
any boss
anybody
of mine,
related to Mark Davis say, man, can you?
If any boss of mine sits me down with that haircut and fires me, we got some issues.
Listen, Casey was like, Brent, those sunglasses are awful. So he got me new sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't somebody do that to Mark Davis and be like, Dad or Uncle Mark,
that's
your
what you
hair
do when
sucks. Like, You're a millionaire, billionaire.
That's what you do when you're a billionaire sometimes. Sometimes you're swaggerless, man. Like Steve Jobs, may he rest in peace. He didn't have the most swag.
Just wear a hat.
No, but at least he didn't have that.
Yeah, but he wore your Skechers all the time, though. You know?
Nothing wrong with that. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on
billionaire.
ESPN 690. Who you got tonight? National championship game.
We doing picks for that?
Why not?
All right.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, we will have cloudy skies with scattered showers. We'll reach our high temperature by about mid-morning into the mid to upper 60s, then turning cooler in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear and chilly, dropping to 40 degrees. You need a jacket on Tuesday. It will be sunny and windy with highs in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjick, and that's your Action News Jax First Alert forecast.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Get the guaranteed lowest price at the only locally owned diamond store in the St. John's Town Center.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Discover your rhythm at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tampa. Play your instrument of choice with the hottest slots and table games. Live in pure harmony with rooms and suites designed for rock royalty. Experience a unique blend of dining options at our award-winning restaurants and amp up your evening with our exciting concert lineup. Discover your rhythm at Tampa's premier resort destination, Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Tampa. Must be 21 to play slots or table games. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, boss, did you hear the latest about the ding-dong doorbell cameras?
Whoa. First of all, let me just say that as a crook, I'm a big fan of the ding-dong doorbell cameras.
Me too. It means no safe touch security.
Exactly. So what happened with our old buddies at Triple D?
So the ding-dong doorbell cameras rely on the internet, right? Well, the parent company just had their third outage in a month.
Doesn't that make the ding-dong doorbell camera useless or something?
Not just that. All kinds of apps in people's houses went haywire, websites were down. People are fed up.
It's one thing after another with that company. Spying on customers, selling personal information, sharing people's internet. Now this?
It's a head-scratcher, boss. If folks had safe-touch security, they wouldn't have to worry about any of that.
Which is another reason we had the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from safe-touch houses. Like Superman's kryptonite.
Receive free equipment and free installation with monitoring agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Been thinking about selling your car? Think you can get more selling it on your own? Selling it on your own can be a big hassle. Not to mention, it can be scary, too. Find out what your vehicle is really worth with the coolest technology available. ACV Auctions will be in Jacksonville Friday and Saturday, January 21st and 22nd. Watch as hundreds of auto dealers bid on it in a live auction setting. You can sell it on the spot or just find out what it's worth. It's that easy and it's free. Proudly hosted by Mazda City of Orange Park at 6916 Blanding Boulevard.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug.
Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need. I don't think we carry that, but in fiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
That's the ultimate challenge. When you look across the board at the efficiency with which Bryce Young has played with, and he's got good weapons around him. He's got a really good team around him, but make no mistake about it, he is elite at what he does. To have the number of touchdown passes, the interception ratio, I don't know that I've ever seen really anything like it. And, we talk about him as Houdini because he can make people miss. He gets rid of the ball. People don't even account for the number of times this guy has avoided sacks and thrown the ball with no intention of anybody catching it. But he knows where to throw the ball to not take a sack.
Sounds like Jeff Saturday to me. No? Who was that?
Huh?
Who was that?
Kirby Smart.
Oh. He was talking about Bryce Young. I missed the beginning part. You know what I thought you were talking about? I thought he was talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that soundbite if you missed the first 5 seconds. I thought he was talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That is Kirby. Kirby Smart sounds like Jeff Saturday. We should play Jeff Saturday. I thought I nailed it.
You thought you had it locked in. Loaded, I
just saw this stat, too. I guess I was on NFL in my mind, too, because I shared it with you guys. Troy Aikman had 188 career touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady has 188 touchdowns since turning 40.
That's insane.
He had 43 touchdowns this year.
Yeah.
And over 5,000 yards. I think him and Herbert had 5,000 yards.
Most yards in his career in a single season.
And a lot, again, that a little bit 17th game, right?
Yeah.
If only Herbert had a coach.
We should talk about Mark Davis more because some of the lines are funny. If Humpty Dumpty was a person, he would be Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Mark Davis is a big fan of Dumb and Dumber.
I like that.
That's good.
Shout out to Lloyd Christmas.
It's good. All right, college football national championship tonight. Who you got?
Oh, man.
Let me ask you this. Who do you want to win? You're a Murray State guy, so here on the show, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, the SEC does not just mean more.
Yeah.
But
I could care less about the SEC, honestly.
Do you hate Alabama? Because they're like Duke and the Yankees and the rest.
I mean, I'm not necessarily the biggest Alabama fan, but I respect it. I respect it more than I respect the New York Yankees as a kid. So they aren't my favorite team in college football, but I respect Alabama for what they do.
Yeah, I respect them too. I do find myself rooting against them more often than not. Probably not crazy.
Yeah,
but kinda.
Yeah,
just because I like to see. Like I said, I just told you earlier today, the Raiders in Cincinnati in the playoffs. I do like that because of the new blood.
Sure.
It's kind of boring in college football. Alabama's made it. That doesn't take away their greatness, but they've made college football a little bit boring because of their success. And I also wouldn't mind seeing Georgia win for the first time since 1980. That's pretty cool. And I don't have the angst of a Gator fan or anything. Here's what's interesting. I always think the Gator fans are interesting here. I think most are rooting for Alabama to win because they want to keep Georgia on the schneid of national championships. Casey is a Gator fan. Kind of hides it pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel? Would you like
Alabama
to win?
Cheer, I feel like, this year.
Yeah, I'm mad at the Gators. But Yeah, I'm also going to bet on Alabama, so there is that plays in. But yeah, I'd rather Georgia not win because like Alabama, like you can say what you want, like Gator fan, like if you think Alabama's a rival with you, they're not. They're so much better than you have ever been right now.
And you don't play them every year.
Yeah, so there's nothing really like internally. If you were good, then yeah, but Georgia obviously you don't want to win.
Like if they're not I get the rivalry part, but from a hateability standpoint, like an I can't stand you standpoint. Like I think Georgia's a very likable program, an easy program to root for. Like Kirby Smart's not a bad guy, doesn't drive you nuts. He doesn't seem very pompous, whatever, all that stuff. Again, I'm talking about from a neutral observer. That's where I sit. I'm a neutral guy in college football. I don't have a team. And I like the story of since 1980. I like the story of Stetson Bennett. I've been up to Athens. It's an awesome place. So much so that I've said before, if I had come to Athens before I had picked a school, maybe I wouldn't have played college baseball and gone to like Ashland and just come down to Athens. It's a great college town. So, and there are a lot of great college towns.
Yeah, but not everyone's got hedges, you know.
But
those hedges.
So I say all that about Georgia.
Okay, I'm making sure everyone's backing me up
Between
here.
the hedges,
sure. Okay.
I say all that about Georgia, but I do think there's kind of this, again, this hateability factor of I'm tired of Alabama because they do have, like we've said, a Yankees kind of Duke-ish kind of feel to them, which is just a recognition of their greatness. But again, around here you got a lot of Gator fans. Ty's a Gator fan, and he said he wants Alabama. Don't want Georgia.
Yeah.
The Gator fans down in the sports office, they don't want Georgia.
Yeah.
Gator fans are rooting for Alabama to win. And it's not because some of them are rooting because they want. It doesn't matter, right? The SEC is going to carry the flag, but they seriously are rooting against Georgia because it's one of their rivals. I'm just a little surprised Alabama hasn't turned people off so much that maybe the younger generation would be rooting against Alabama instead of Georgia, even if Georgia's your rival.
I just think Alabama is a team that has so many great athletes and so many great players. Like, for instance, like the Yankees. Yeah, they bought a lot of their teams back in the day, but it's also baseball. Like, yeah, I mean, there's great players on the Yankees, but you couldn't really appreciate, like, it's not like watching, Bryce Young, or it wasn't like watching, like, Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Like, those guys, you appreciate greatness because you see it with your eyes. You see the action. I think with Duke basketball, you saw a little bit of that, but I think just with Alabama and just what you get from their top prospects in terms of entertainment, it's hard not to be mad at that.
Yeah. So what do you think now? Okay, so that's kind of why you would root, or who do you want to see win?
Yeah.
I would like to see Georgia win.
Sure.
I don't think that I said this. I'd like to see Georgia win. I would not bet on Georgia for sure because I'm not betting against Nick Saban and Alabama in this spot. And I'm also very concerned for the Georgia Bulldogs. I think they actually have a very good team, like a good enough team to beat Alabama. The SEC championship game made me aware that this could be just a matchup problem for the Dogs. And that's got me super concerned. Like, can you make enough corrections from that game where you just got walloped to make this a game and then pull it out against a team that just knows how to win and might, for whatever reason, match up well against you?
Yeah.
That's my concern for Georgia tonight.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? I mean, we talk about that in basketball and stuff, but I mean, isn't that what we saw a little bit yesterday? For whatever reason, aren't like the Jags a good matchup against the Colts?
Obviously, especially at home.
And I just wonder if Alabama proved that in the SEC championship game, even just this edition of, and not like a long-term thing, but this edition of Alabama, their style of play, what they can do, their strengths and weaknesses is just a good matchup against what Georgia does, even though Georgia was dominant against everybody else this year.
It's hard to beat a team twice in a season, especially in college football, but it's hard to pick against Nick Saban. Like, I think the Alabama Crimson Tide win this game tonight. Now, if you ask me what I want to happen, I want the entire Georgia football team to come down with COVID, and then they're playing Indianapolis, right?
Yes.
So then I want them to go, okay, well, Georgia can't play it. Let's bring in Ohio State. And all of a sudden, like, Alabama's celebrating. Here comes Ohio State through the tunnel. And all of a sudden, it's Ohio State versus Alabama for the national championship. And Ohio State wins because they have a high-powered offense. That's what I'd love to see happen. But I think Alabama's going to win.
That's an interesting scenario.
I want to see Georgia. I'd love to see Georgia win because it's new blood. But it's hard to pick against Nick Saban. Hard to pick against Alabama.
Bryce Young against Stetson Bennett. Nick Saban against Kirby Smart. Should we just stop there?
I mean, but if Georgia wins this game, it's because of their defense. And finally, we can say, hey, defense actually matters still in college football.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be cool to say. Because you're not going to go toe-to-toe with Alabama and outscore them. Like, if you're going to beat Alabama, it's because your defense comes up with some pretty big plays.
Yeah, that's true. I love the Stetson Bennett story because it reminds me of last year when we were talking about this game here. Actually, it wasn't this game. It was, what were we talking about? The Gators won the SEC championship game last year, right? And so we're talking SEC championship game, and it was like Kyle Trask's story against Mac Jones' story. And it's interesting now, like Mac Jones isn't far from the Stetson Bennett story. I mean, it's not exactly alike, but these are guys that people weren't raving about. Now, Bryce Young is the guy that people are raving about. But I find it interesting in college football, in this world full of 5 stars and big-time recruiting. In the last couple of years, at least around here, we've had a guy like Kyle Trask and now a Stetson Bennett. And Alabama, of all places, even Alabama had a guy like Mac Jones who waited it out, got his chance, and then boom. And I just think those stories are cool that they still exist in college football, where we think it's just you got to be a 4-star, 5-star, 4-star, 5-star. You better be as good as an 8th grader. And these guys can still grow and develop, be patient, wait in the program, get their chance, and boom, they're rewarded for it. You know, pretty neat. In the transfer portal world and everything else, it's pretty neat. Stetson Bennett has bought his time, earned his spot, got his chance, and has held off JT Daniels to the point where he's the better player for them right now. They play better with him. So much so that he'll be playing in the national title game.
I mean, didn't Mac Jones do that 2 years ago?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think it's cool.
Last year would have been.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat that you have that. And now you have the real dynamic of Bryce Young, 5-star ballyhooed guy against Stetson Bennett, unassuming from small-town Georgia, playing for his home state team. I'm a sucker for those stories. I think it's kind of neat that we have that in this national championship game. Once again, I do wonder play this scenario out. A few years back when Georgia lost in the title game, Tua comes off the bench to beat Georgia and rally when Jalen Hurts was struggling. They made the move at halftime. What if JT Daniels comes off the bench in the second half and they reverse it on Alabama?
It'd be a great storyline.
That'd be interesting, right?
That'd be a nice Disney moment for everybody.
But they have that.
It is on ESPN.
They have that element. There's an element of that. Where you can make the case like, okay, if Stetson Bennett's struggling, Kirby could go to that card to get a jump start.
Sure.
Because, I mean, Alabama's not going to do that. They're going to ride or die with Bryce Young, of course. But they could actually do that with JT Daniels and Stetson Bennett. Interested to see how it plays out tonight.
So, just to be clear, you're picking Georgia.
No, I'm picking Alabama to win.
Okay.
And I'm picking Bama as well. Yeah.
But I'll be... this is not this super hatred against Alabama. I just would like to see Georgia win.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Georgia win. They've won since 1980. I think it's a great story. I think they're a good program. I think Kirby Smart's a really good coach, and I think he's earned his way to win a national title. And I am a little tired of Alabama. I'd like to see Georgia win the national title, if I'm being honest.
It's just so weird because I've definitely changed my tune since the SEC championship game. Because I thought in that game, it was Georgia's game. Like, I thought Georgia finally had the team, they had the formula to beat Alabama. Because to me, this is the best Georgia team they've had in a long time. And to me, the Alabama team doesn't even maybe draw a candle to the past 3 or 4 teams. But here we are, national championship game, and no one's picking Georgia. I think, are they the favorite too, Casey?
They are the favorite.
Which is wild.
Georgia's a favorite?
Yeah.
Yes.
2.5-point favorite?
Yes. You want to
Why did they do that? Why did they do that?
It's hard to beat a team twice.
But Alabama, why are you going to give them that? Is Alabama going to give me the damn disrespect card again?
Yeah, probably.
So after you bet the plus 2.5 for Alabama, because that's logical, and then after you bet the money line, because that's logical, go find the alternate spread area and bet Alabama -1 if you think they're going to win the game. Because right now the odds of that are plus 550. You're going to make a boatload of money.
Plus 550 for Alabama -1?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, you got to find somewhere that offers alternate spread.
What would Alabama -10 be?
Oh, boy.
A lot.
I mean.
Can you find that for us?
I'm for real. Let me go and make some calls quick here.
It's seriously, if you're going to make an investment I mean, that feels like free money if Alabama's getting points.
But I'm telling you, man, it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah, that stuns me that Georgia's the favorite here.
Everyone is picking Georgia, too. Like all the
Really?
Yeah.
But see, people pick Georgia because they are a little bit like me. I've done this before. I've been guilty of this.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Georgia win.
Yeah.
And so people are picking Georgia because they want to see them win.
Do you think Georgia surprised people, though, against Michigan? I mean, it was one game. I get it. But do you think Georgia surprised people against Michigan in terms of their offensive firepower that they kind of showcased a little bit?
Yeah, and they do have Pickens back now and all this stuff. So they're good. They're very good. I would say that here's the one caveat to the Georgia game and the SEC title game. They had a mulligan in their back pocket. Like, they kind of knew that even if they lost, they were getting in.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And so were they as focused? Did it matter so much? All that stuff. What I can't get over, see, this is where Alabama is like the Yankees for me. The old Yankees, if you made an error, they would, and gave them a second chance, they would go score 4 runs and put you away. Yeah. Well, the Auburn kid doesn't go out of bounds. They win that game when they shouldn't have, if the kid goes out of bounds. Georgia could have had Alabama eliminated from the playoffs, had played Cincinnati, and then played the winner of Michigan Notre Dame for the national title and had a cake ride to get the crystal.
Yeah.
On paper, at least. And they gave Alabama another chance because they got thumped in the SEC title game. And now the bettors in Vegas are giving Saban bulletin board material minus 2.5 or plus 2.5.
3 in some places I just found. I'm going to have to make an account on this website.
Free money.
Is Imagine Dragons playing the halftime show again for like the 25th year in a row, it feels like?
No, but
that is a hell of a segue.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah. Well, about if you want to win Imagine Dragons tickets. Oh, you were ready for that. February 8th, coming to Jacksonville in the arena. 904-362-9901. Win a couple tickets to Imagine Dragons. We're giving them away here on a Monday. Let's go caller number 4. I was trying to think of somebody like maybe on Georgia or Alabama or whatever. I could go 80 for 1980.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Caller number 4.
Jordan Davis. Okay, I was going to say Jordan Davis is a good player. I mean, hey, wouldn't mind seeing him in a Jaguars uniform. Yeah. Let's go 99 for Jordan Davis.
904-362-9901 for Imagine Dragon tickets. Imagine Dragons tickets coming on February 8th. Give Casey a call right now.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Did anyone watch football last year and think, you know what, I think there's just too much taunting going on? These guys seem to be too excited when they make big plays, and every now and again, it seems to be in the face of their opponent. This does not have any impact on the competition of the game until you choose to make it so. And what I'm suggesting is don't choose that. Don't choose that.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and watch exclusively on ESPN+.
Now is the time to get an estimate on replacement windows. American Window Products of Jacksonville is a high-volume dealer offering a huge selection of products to keep your costs low. New windows from American Window Products can lower your energy costs and increase your curb appeal and security, all without breaking the bank. Call American Window Products for a free estimate at 904-667-0873 or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Smoke for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewells.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia, Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick, and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoke for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
There's a national shortage of cars right now, so your car might be worth more than you think. ACV Auctions will be on site Friday and Saturday, January 21st and 22nd at Mazda City of Orange Park. Drive in, get your vehicle inspected, and watch the live auction to see what dealers across across the country will pay for your car. You can sell it on the spot or just find out what it's really worth. It's free, and there's no obligation to sell. See what your vehicle is really worth Friday and Saturday, January 21st and 22nd. Proudly hosted by Mazda City of Orange Park, 6916 Blanding Boulevard.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors. With roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis, your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is now open for reservations.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 7730 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 7730. Enjoy!
Here's to a new you in 2022. Cora Physical Therapy has opened 2 new state-of-the-art clinics in Kingsland and Brunswick. That means you have 17 clinics to choose from in the Jacksonville region. At Cora, you get access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. We do getting better, and faster. Call today for a free screening. Same-day appointments available. This new year, start to feel like the old you again. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
I don't know. I'd have to look back and really think about the biggest thing I've learned. I think just for me, learning how to really be resilient in tough times and to keep being the same person and to try to keep that confidence week in and week out. You know, it's a 17-game season, and just because you have a bad first game or a bad 7th game, you still have so many games left, and you gotta come ready to play each week. And regardless of, you know, we didn't win a lot of games this year, but there's so many games we could have won and we could have won, and we have enough talent, and every team has enough talent, and it's really about execution. It's about being ready. Everybody be on the same page. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned.
Well, there's some things I've learned, young Trevor, covering the league for a while and covering the Jaguars for a while. Players inside the locker room advocate for their coaches as they should. They grow fond, good relationships. They think they got them better, and they probably did. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I appreciate that. And I know we on the outside don't probably lend enough to that, but you appreciate it. You should appreciate it. They're trying like hell, and there's a lot that goes into it, even when it all goes wrong. But everybody's going to advocate. So when they get asked the question, should Joe Cullen or should this guy, should that guy stay, a lot of people are going to say yes. And by the way, I think there's a case to be made for Joe Cullen to stay. But the reality is, most likely, There's going to be a lot of change with a new head coach. And I'd be surprised at this point, if I'm being honest, if Joe Cullen stays around. I wouldn't mind it because of continuity, but I doubt that's going to happen. The other part, Trevor just said, we got the talent. No, you don't. You don't have enough talent. That's the problem, young man. You deserve better talent than you had around you this year. You deserve better play than you had around you, but you definitely don't have enough talent. I watched the Chargers play on offense. I watch you play on offense. There's a huge difference, like a wide gap in talent. And so I appreciate what Trevor's saying.
I like this, though. Breaking news, Brent questions Trevor Lawrence press conference.
Yeah.
I like this.
Well, I've seen enough of these exit interviews, and hey, we feel good about the win, and hey, we like what we have in the locker room. And I think there's a lot to be said for this locker room. Mm-hmm. Like there are some hidden things for the Jacksonville Jaguars that maybe Urban Meyer did better in hindsight than we will give him credit for.
Yeah.
And that is, one, Trevor was the obvious pick. I don't know how good ETN is, but Tyson Campbell looks pretty good. Walker Little's played excellent football the last 2 weeks. And Andre Cisco does look like the kind of player we thought he could be. I don't understand why he wasn't on the field.
Sure.
And he put pretty good leadership in the locker room. Now, that leadership kind of was doing anything they could to hold it together because of Urban and everything he created, the mess. But you have to really take your hats off. Again, it's something you can't cling on to if you're a fan, right? But you've been in the game. And the locker room did a hell of a job keeping this thing together.
No, absolutely. It should definitely be commended because it could have fell apart real quick. You know, as far as retaining a couple of the coaches, I mean, it all depends who comes in. If there's a relationship already from the past with that coach, then that coach can possibly stay.
True.
But I also think they have to take a long, hard look of whoever's coming in here of retaining a couple people. Now that they did the offensive line coach this year, one could argue maybe Keenan, McCardell should have maybe been one of those guys that they retained. Would. Yes. So I get starting anew, but it's good to keep at least a little bridge somewhere on this team from the past to the new, just so you can kind of bounce ideas off them as well.
By the way, I asked how cold it was in Saskatchewan, and Kurt responded, warmed up today to 7 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's been around minus 36 the last week or so.
You texted him?
No, on Twitter.
I got you. His name's Kurt?
It's Kurt, yeah.
Shout out to Kurt. Shout out to that young upstart from Saskatchewan. Shout out to the Rick from rocking a Boston Bruins jersey.
There we go.
He may not get that one. That's a little old school ESPN reference for everybody out there.
And we also have Spokane on the roll call today, too. So,
is it Oklahoma?
Washington.
Washington. Yeah,
very good.
I'm an idiot.
Geography later.
Sorry.
By the way, I do want to let you know National Championship game can be heard right here on ESPN 690. Coming up between our show and that, 6 o'clock to 7, Action Sports Jax Overtime. Casey Kurtz, Brian Middleton. And don't forget tonight at 7 o'clock, Jags Report Live, Sneakers, one more show. Shaq Griffin scheduled to join us in person at Sneakers at 7 o'clock in Jax Beach. We'll be right back. Football at 5 coming up on ESPN 690.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tobacco-Free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you up, I'm letting you never coming back to stone. I'll never come back to stone. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7, and we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
It doesn't matter how old we are, we all need love and support.
Yet, teenagers who end up in foster care have a much harder time finding it, as nearly 82% of current foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. The good news is, you can positively impact a teen's life by becoming a foster parent with help from Family Support Services of North Florida. You don't have to be married or own a home. You provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. So if you've ever felt a calling to help youth, please take this opportunity to explore becoming a foster parent to a teen through Family Support Services. Teenagers may no longer be little, but they still need lots of love. Take the next step by visiting foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Men suffering from ED or PE? Has Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center is featuring Restore Wave, the latest and non-invasive ED treatment. You'll see results on your first visit or pay nothing. Call 904-618-3497. That's 904-618-3497.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Tonight's spotlight belongs to SEC foes Alabama and Georgia, who face off in the College Football Playoff National Championship game. 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN TV. Bama seeking a 7th national title overall under Coach Nick Saban. The Dave Gettleman era with the Giants has ended. He announced his retirement as GM after a 4th straight losing season. This offseason won't be an easy one in New York, believes ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
I think the biggest gap they have right now, the challenge is, they were once the New York Giants, like a great and proud franchise. I think the biggest challenge is going to be any assistant coach who may have options, any free agent who has options. I think it's going to be a heavy lift to get them to go to the Giants, given just the way they ended.
Mike Tannenbaum on Barton Hahn. Giants coach Joe Judge expected to return. The Dolphins made a stunning move. They fired coach Brian Flores. ESPN's Jeff Darlington reports he was dismissed because of his deteriorating relationships with GM Chris Greer and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Bears fired coach Matt Nagy and GM Ryan Pace. The Vikings fired coach Mike Zimmer and GM Rick Spielman.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
We joked around about it. I was pretty confident I was going to get him his 4. So if it works out a deal, he gives me a small percentage of that, and then we'll. I'm just kidding, no. But no, we kind of joked around about it. But Marvin, the type of player he is, he's going to get 4 if we play the way we should. So wasn't really concerned.
So Marvin ends up with over 70 catches. Gosh, if they played the way they should, he probably should add 100.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it really. He didn't have like a terrible year statistically, but it didn't feel like he had a good year. Jags were just too inconsistent. Josh Allen epitomizes that, right? He has the big game against Buffalo. I thought leading up to the Buffalo game, he was very noticeable. Then after the Buffalo game, he kind of disappeared, and then he had a huge game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I said this, though. A player like Josh Allen has to be a part of this thing going forward. Has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree?
I mean,
just next
yeah,
year. Next year he's on his fourth year of his deal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you hope he performs, but you got to find a way to keep players like Allen. Those are the kind of players that you let go in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best player on defense right now. So you have to keep him. You have to try to maintain him.
Yeah, I think – I don't know if he's done enough to earn him a deal now, though. Unless you can get unless you can get ahead of it to the point where you're getting a bargain.
No, I still say you have another year left to see what he can produce, what he can do, and then you go from there.
Take the last month of the year, okay? And we have a poll question tonight on Jags Report Live. It's on actionnewsjax.com/Jags poll if you want to vote. Of these three rookies, who performed, who got your attention the most the last few weeks? Not the entire year, the last few weeks.
Okay.
Cisco, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little.
Who got my attention? Tyson Campbell.
Still.
Yeah.
Even though he played the most, obviously.
Yeah.
But Walker
Tyson
Little
Campbell.
started the last two games. I think he gave up one pressure.
Yeah.
Cisco
But your offensive
started
line,
punching the ball out.
Yeah. No, I would say Tyson.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing an interview with people in the parking lot right now. This is
What's
very
that?
short answers.
Tyson Campbell. What do you want me to tell you? You asked me out of those three, who do I think? I said Tyson Campbell. What more do you want me to tell you?
Who do you have the highest ceiling for? Explain further.
Okay. I mean, you asked me to try to break down an offensive lineman like it's a sexy, exciting position. I guess Walker Little
by the
did
way,
good. I don't
number
know.
one pick in the draft might be an offensive lineman. So
This
where I'm
year?
going, Evan Neal.
Okay.
So do you need that? Do you go
You think
that
so?
way? Or
Okay.
do you say, okay, I'm all set with Walker Little?
So then is Walker
you guys
Little-
discuss. I got to go do some TV.
Okay, I got you. Come on in here, Casey. Water's fine here. Brent's setting the table for us to discuss a little bit. No, I just think Tyson Campbell because he has had the most playing time. Like, we can sit here and say Andre Cisco for sure. Why didn't he play more? Okay. But at the same time, he didn't play a lot. So it's a very small sample size. I think sample size is a big proponent when you try to break down questions like this. So allow me to extend my answer a little more here, Casey, and say I think it's Tyson Campbell because of what we've seen from where he started, trouble tracking the ball, trouble trying to, make a play to where he's at now. I think he's made growth. And I think that, if you're a fan next season, when we're talking about, shock your mock and everything, we're not necessarily saying we need a cornerback in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, and there was a time when me and you were just doing a show where we weren't sure of that.
Exactly.
And now we are. So.
Now, if you want to talk about Evan Neal, okay, if you draft Evan Neal, then what are we saying about Walker Little? Are we going to tell, hey, Mr. Little, can you please go to the right side of the ball and then I guess bring Evan Neal to the left side?
Yeah, I don't know about that because Walker Little, I mean, Cam Robinson, we're done with Cam, right? He's played his last game here.
You could bring him back in some capacity, but more than likely probably going to be done.
Yeah, I mean, did Walker Little show you enough in 2 games? Probably not.
Yeah.
He did say he's comfortable at the right side, so you consider moving him over to the right side. For Evan Neal on the left side, that's to be seen. But
Or do you somehow justify drafting Evan Neal with the first pick overall? Because I get it, quarterback's blind side, but there's still a top priority of a right tackle as well in that National Football League now. In terms of like how much they make and
Saw that
everything.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Do you draft Evan Neal number 1, then move him to the right side? Or is it hard to justify with the top overall pick of the draft?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's tough to draft somebody and then say, hey, we like what you did in college. We're drafting you because of what you did in college, and then
with the top pick overall.
Yeah, slide over.
Yeah.
And when they've picked players and then played them out of position, it didn't go well.
Exactly.
Chase on.
Well, and you heard today, too, Juwan Taylor talked to the media a little bit, and they asked him, well, how do you feel about moving to guard? He doesn't want to move to guard. No, I think it is definitely – I think it's a knock on your skill set if you're a tackle you move to guard because now athleticism comes into play. But number 2, in terms of how much the best left tackles or right tackles are making compared to how much the best guards are making, I think it's night and day.
Yeah.
So I get where Juwan Taylor's coming from. Now, you may not have a choice, man. You may get bumped out of that right tackle spot, and if you still want to have a spot in this team, you better learn how to play guard. So there's always possibility for that. And then with Andre Cisco – once again, I think that the sample size says that we'll see, but we haven't seen that much from him.
No, but what you did see was good, I thought.
No, for sure.
It's a shame now. By the way, what happened to Wingard? Did he just never come back from COVID?
That's a great question. I think he was on the COVID list, and then
Amanda said yesterday, like, is he gone? I was like, I don't know. I don't think he ever got activated. So I guess that's a tough way to go out for Wingard. But it's unfortunate now that we saw Wingard as much as we did because we don't know about Cisco. But is it weird that I'm sitting here like, hey, Daniel Thomas and Cisco are the boys? Like and you started with Wingard and Jenkins.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not.
Daniel Thomas flies around, man. I know we're talking about Cisco, but them two together, now you do have the opportunity to bust a coverage because those two are boom or bust plays. But
true.
He's flying around. Cisco's flying around. I don't hate it.
No, I'm not mad at that either. We'll see with Rayshawn Jenkins. A lot of money went to that guy as well. You just cut ties with that. I think in terms of trade value, not that much there. So we'll see. But overall, I think, listen, we're very – and here's the funny thing. 3 weeks ago, Casey, 4 weeks ago, I was sitting here saying that this draft was an absolute bust, right? Because nobody showed us anything. You saw Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne remains to be seen. Walker Little, set aside from training camp and one-on-ones, didn't really hear much from him. Andre Cisco, it was what it was. And Tyson Campbell, we saw probably a lot more bad than we did of good. And now all of a sudden our perceptions are changing a little bit over 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Should we be changing that much? I get it. You beat the Colts. You look good doing it. Excitement going into the offseason. But, in this draft coming up, is safety a priority? Is the secondary a priority? Is offensive tackle a priority? Where do you sit on those things?
Secondary, no. I think they're okay because Tyson Campbell obviously got better, and we don't really think much of the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, him as a player is getting better. Cisco, it is what it is. Offensive line, they're going to have to do something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's necessarily Evan Neal, but you've also Norwell and Linder, I think the contracts are up. A.J. Cann was supposed to be the right guard. We never saw him. Barch, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Here we are breaking down offensive line. But they're going to – I think if you're looking in terms of that, I would go offensive line before secondary because, granted, maybe it's just I like Daniel Thomas because what we were seeing was bad. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's part of it. But, yeah, I think looking at the draft class – we were looking for anything positive. We finally got it with 2 games left in the season, and I think that even leaves you in a worse spot because now you're like, ooh.
Brent has alluded to this a little bit last week, and it still remains to be seen with the edge now, right? I get Evan Neal isn't the most attractive pick in terms of excitement of celebrating in the streets, but he helps Trevor Lawrence out for sure. Right? And that's what this is supposed to all be about, is making sure Trevor Lawrence has the tools and the viability to succeed. At the same time, though, you also want to win football games. And you have a defense right now that has shown some good, has shown some really bad, but I feel like the consistent through the entire season was getting that pass rush on a consistent basis wasn't really there. I get tackle can always be of importance, especially a beast like Evan Neal, who will probably see play tonight. But, where do you stand on the edge? Do you think if they can find somebody to pair with Josh Allen, that's going to be the biggest thing going forward now for this team? Because Caleb Chason was supposed to be that guy, and we know how that kind of turned out so far in his career.
I think, well, first of all, if you look at the Raiders from last night, Max Crosby was a problem on one side. That's because Yannick Ngakoue was a problem on the other side. Yeah. If only we could find a guy like Yannick Ngakoue. But here's the thing. By the way,
who's also a captain now, too, by the way, Yannick Ngakoue.
What a disaster.
Which says a lot about, say what you want about the stats, but also the leadership of that team. Says a lot about Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, and I think here's it, I want him to trade the number 1 pick. I've said that a bunch. I'm going to keep saying that. Mm-hmm. But and I say that because you're not going to win the Super Bowl by drafting a pass rusher at 1. However, they do need a pass rusher. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're stuck with the pick, the question is, which one do you love? How do you not mess it up?
Well,
how do you not Jaguars it?
No, for sure. And this is the biggest thing going forward here, Casey, because even last night, yes, the Raiders gave up some points, but it's all about complimentary football. I get it. You want to help Trevor Lawrence offensive line. Want to help him at wide receiver. You absolutely need to do that. But you also got to help Trevor Lawrence of playing complimentary football. If he's constantly playing behind because the defense can't stop anybody, that does Trevor Lawrence no good as well. So I'm very curious to see going forward now in terms of, who the next coach is going to be, what the next scheme is going to be. To me, the Jaguars have a very easy decision to make in terms of this draft, right? Assume that they don't trade it out, assume they don't get a king's ransom for the number 1 pick. It's coming down to Hutchinson or Thibodeau or possibly on the outside looking in, Evan Neal. But to me, it's all about what kind of scheme do you foresee running in the future here? You look at Josh Allen, who's probably your biggest piece right now. I mean, we'll see with Myles Jack. The secondary is kind of interchangeable in terms of the 4-3 or 3-4. You have the guys that can do both, I think. Are you going to be a 4-3 defense or a 3-4 defense? Because I think if you're a 4-3 defense, then you go with Hutchinson. I think if you're a 3-4 defense and you want to give that extra edge rusher to Josh Allen and kind of take some pressure off of him, and now you got two bona fide bookends, then you go with Thibodeau. And to me, that's the easiest decision you can make. To me, it's not about, okay, who's the best player available, who's the best athlete available. I get it. It's probably going to be Thibodeau, right? But if you play a 4-3 defense, let's stop trying to put a circular peg in a square hole. It ain't going to work. Okay, so that to me is what it comes down to, is what scheme do you foresee happening in the future? And the sooner they can figure that out, the better it's going to be for the drafting process.
That's interesting you think it's that simplified with those two players. Mm-hmm. What do you think fits what they have now, the pieces that they have? Because I could contend Myles Jack is better in a 4-3 on the weak side. He's proven that. Mm-hmm. But Josh Allen and maybe even Kayvon Chason from a depth standpoint might be better in the 3-4 look. Although, Josh had 10.5 sacks his rookie year in a 4-3 and 7.5 sacks this year in a 3-4 where they were supposed to design some things for him. Yeah. So if I take the two players at the top away, since it's that simple potentially, what fits what you have currently and the pieces that you have 4-3, 3-4?
So let me ask you this. Do you consider this team a 3-4 defense with Joe Cullen?
I do now, yes.
Then Thibodeau is going to be your answer.
Okay, but if I'm a head coach and I come in, and whether I keep Cullen or not, am I trying to go get a defensive coordinator that might run a 3-4? Because the parts are better that I have on the roster right now, and I then can add Thibodeau.
Well, this all depends on what you want to do, because the reason why I was such a big proponent of the 3-4 defense was because I thought Kayvon Chason was going to be that guy, and he hasn't showed us much. So essentially, if you look at the building blocks now of this defense going forward, Chason isn't one of them at this moment, to be honest with you.
No.
So we have Josh Allen. Who else do we have? I'm talking about the fundamental building blocks to have a great defense. I think Josh Allen is a guy.
I would say Myles Jack's still a $10 million guy under contract with a lot of talent if you put him in good situations. By the way, he did lead the team in tackles.
Yeah.
Made a splash play yesterday. I don't think the secondary really matters in this conversation that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Devon Hamilton.
A Devon Hamilton type. I think Smoot, by the way. Smoot has earned himself into a quality role. He's not going to be a stud, but he's a quality role guy.
I think the secondary would matter if you had a safety who could kind of be a jack of all trades. I'm not sure if they have that. I know Cisco wants to be that guy.
Go get Tyrann Mathieu.
But I don't think they have that right now set up to have a jack of all trades type of safety on this roster, the way it sits.
Go ahead.
Am I wrong to say that Smoot is good? I said this earlier to Amanda. Smoot is good, but he's not good enough to be a starter on a good team. Am I wrong?
No, I think Smoot is a great depth play. Yeah, I really do.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I think even on this roster, he's still a little bit of a tweener, but they find ways to use him. They find ways to get him in there, and it pays off. As far as being a bona fide starter going forward, I agree with you, Casey. I don't think even on this team he's probably going to be that guy.
By the way, Casey, sorry to Amanda, we must not let you talk enough here on the show if she's had to listen to you all day about the Jacksonville Jaguars. But
pretty much, yeah.
I think Smoot, by the way, you need 6 to 8 guys now. That's everybody operates that way. And so Smoot's a perfect player, and it doesn't matter if he starts or not. He's an important piece. You need a lot of guys. And so that's okay. We're going to get Captain Rick on in a moment, but if I make you the head coach tomorrow, you're going to hire what coach? 4-3 or 3-4 guy that specializes in?
I love the 3-4, so I'd go 3-4 defense.
So you'd go 3-4, and then you would also probably take Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon.
Yep.
Because it fits.
I would, yes.
And then you feel pretty good. You got Thibodeau on one side. You got Josh Allen.
Yes.
You still have Chason, who you can use from a depth standpoint.
Correct.
Who has talent, we hope, and you just try to get something out of him.
Correct.
Or he's just going to be a bust. You have Smoot.
Yeah.
You have Devon Hamilton. You've got your secondary pretty much all set because you've spent. Now, I think you can improve Rayshon Jenkins, but you've spent on him, so you're probably going to have to live with him for another year. Probably not going to upgrade that. So your defense, Thibodeau hopefully makes a big difference, and then you add some other pieces to do the same.
And you know what I would do, too? And I don't even know what Myles Jack's college stats were. But if he's and it wasn't Miles Jack's best year. Even when they took the green dot away from him, it still wasn't his best year. I would seriously consider, just to see what it looks like, to use Miles Jack like the Dallas Cowboys use Micah Parsons. That's what I would do, because I think for what you're paying Miles Jack and what he's able to do this year, like I don't think it's warranted. No, I don't think it's warranted. I never would foresee putting Miles Jack on the edge and just letting him rush and letting him blitz and everything, but maybe he's athletic enough to do that.
Yeah, he's fast.
And I look at Micah Parsons, who had a career high of 5 sacks in a season for Penn State, but the guy can run a 4.3, so it makes sense. I don't know. Maybe you take a look with Miles Jack playing the Micah Parsons role.
That's interesting. Let's get Captain Rick on real quick for the Sportsman Fishing Report. Captain Rick, hope you had a nice weekend, man. Everybody feeling better on a Monday after a Jags win.
Yeah. Where did that team come from, Brent?
We're trying to figure it out, but hopefully we see it more in 22.
Does the fact that everything's been quiet down at Jaguar Place today mean that Trent Baalke's probably going to be with us another year?
I don't think that's what that means, but a lot of people do. My view on it is I think the next coach, whoever they hire, is going to make that call.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk a little fishing, because there's very little fishing to talk. The wind, of course, has had the ocean closed for the weekend. It will be closed all week. The lock is on the door. Don't even try it. You ain't one out there. For the guys that are dying to fish, tomorrow's going to be a good day because it's going to be nasty. It's going to be windy out of the northeast, and you know what that means? That means the dam runs down at Guana Dam. It means the gates open and the water floods, and that's going to happen about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So I would get down there 12:30, 1 o'clock, see if you can get you some live mullet. If not, you'll have to do live mud minnows, and get in that group of guys offshore of the dam. There will be reds and trout caught there tomorrow. That's going to be the best thing going, and it may be the best thing going for the week as we finally officially have wintertime with plummeting water temps. I tell you, Brent, I don't know how far they're going to fall. We'll have to see, but we'll be back to talk about it tomorrow with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscapers. They're paying top dollar for 10 for top landscapers. Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Captain Rick. Appreciate it. Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. A thought or two more on this defense, because I do think it's critical. I think people are missing one thing. We talked about this yesterday on ESPN 690 Game Day Live from the Duval House as we wrapped up our season there. And we can talk. I believe in offense, right? Offense. But the last 2 years, the Jags have had 50 combined sacks. 50 as a team. That's it. That's it. And their leaders have been 7.5 Josh Allen and 6.5 DeJuan Smoot. So you can't sit here and tell me that we don't need that pass rusher at number one, right? And if that's the best player available, well, you need it. You need it. I can actually make the case that you need that player more than you need Evan Neal. Now, Evan Neal might be a long-term better player, and you have to make that judgment. But where are you finding the pass rush help if you don't get any in free agency and you don't pick one of these top guys? So let's just, under your, I made you the head coach. You added Vic Fangio or something for a 3-4 defense, whatever it might be. Does he play 3-4? Yeah. And so you got him as your defensive coordinator, and you guys say, hey, listen, Miles is good. We got to find more of a role for him. You got Josh Allen. We're going to draft Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. We got Smoot. We have Devon Hamilton we like as a player, as a rotational player, not a stud. We have to get some help on the interior, right? We need probably another linebacker. Damian Wilson's a free agent. Shaq Quarterman's probably not got that. He's not going to be a star, but he's a decent backup and adds depth. Your secondary is probably all set as far as you can go right now, given the dollars and investment that you have in it. I don't see them revamping that much. Maybe go get a nickel corner. Herndon's time could be done. How much do you trust Rudy Ford, I guess? So really, where else? My question is, where else do you add? Like, what else do you need on defense if you make the one Thibodeau move? And I guess the answer would be the interior, right?
Correct. Yes.
Simple as that?
I mean, pretty simple, yeah. I mean, you have to address the interior for sure.
Maybe linebacker next to Miles.
Yeah, linebacker would be nice as well, but definitely interior. Because if you want to, once again, it depends what you're trying to run here. But regardless, if you're trying to build a 3-4 and you're trying to make it legit, then yeah, I think interior defensive line still has to be a play here. Absolutely.
So it's really strange to me. This defense was okay, exceeded my expectations at times.
Mm-hmm.
When it was really good, it was really good. But all you really got to do is add like 2 or 3 players, and it's going to be a lot better.
I mean, you're asking, okay, so interior defensive line for sure. So you had 2 there.
2 and a linebacker? 3?
Well, maybe 2. I mean, depending what you have planned for Miles Jack.
Yeah.
Could be 2 linebackers. Depending how you see Rayshawn Jenkins going forward, could be a safety as well.
I just think you're stuck in that contract for a year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you need a slot corner?
Maybe a slot corner.
Yeah.
So maybe add 4. You could add as many, I would say, realistically here, okay? I listen, if you want to redo the whole thing, you could probably redo the whole thing. But I'm saying realistically, you probably add 4 pieces to defense in free agency in the draft. And you feel good about Josh Allen. You feel good about Miles. You feel good about Shaq Griffin and Tyson Campbell and Cisco.
Yep.
And you got to feel good about Rayshawn Jenkins. I'm forcing you to. So, you know.
What's wrong with Daniel Thomas?
Well, again, Thomas and Quarterman, the guys like that are good depth guys. I'm not sitting there telling you that I'm not going to try to sell you on those guys being studs that make your defense like a top 12 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But I think they're pretty quality in terms of, depth, and you need depth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to focus on offense is my point. That's what I'm getting at. And so if I only have to really look at 4 spots on the defensive side, I feel pretty good about focusing a lot of my attention on the offensive side of the ball. Big money in free agency.
Yeah.
And again in the draft with the remainder of my picks.
For sure. But in terms of money, I mean, you have to look at it like this, though. Okay, do you spend that money on defense or offense? Because what do you get more bang for your buck off right the bat in the draft? Right? You can say, okay, we can get a wide receiver early on in the draft. Will that correlate to production right away? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. If you try to rely, I mean, obviously, if you get a defensive end or edge rusher, well, yeah, he's got to produce right away as number 1 overall. But like if you go into your defensive line with like the 2nd pick or the 3rd pick, how much production can you get from that guy right away? I'm not sure. So it begs the question of, okay, we have a lot of money, and that's great. But do you gear that money towards showing up that defense and you draft offense? Or do you show up the offense in free agency and then draft the defense?
I go get the best. I spend my money in 3 positions, big money. Best wide receiver I can find. If that's Mike Williams, I throw the bank at him. I try to find a big interior defensive player from a veteran free agent standpoint that can help me out right away. And I probably will add to the offensive line in some capacity because I'm not sure I'm keeping Norwell and Linder. Maybe one of them, but not both of them. And so I need someone on the interior of the offensive line most likely to help me out. So I get 3 big money spots. The rest go in the draft, number 1 pick, Thibodeau, and you got to keep building from there. You can't fix it all, but I think that's how you – and then you draft with the second round pick, another receiver, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you keep adding tight end, all the other spots.
Yeah.
It's a doable thing. And you got to rely on some guys coming off injuries to really help you out. Rayshawn, your running backs, DJ Chark, you got to re-sign him too. That's part of this equation.
Sure.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clouds will gradually clear as we go through the night tonight. Quite chilly. Grab a sweater or a jacket, dropping to near 40 by morning. Plenty of sun, but a breezy, cool Tuesday. The afternoon high in the upper 50s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Get the guaranteed lowest price at the only locally owned diamond store in the St. John's Town Center.
These days, answering your phone can feel like a game of roulette. It could be an important call or just another spam call or wrong number. When you're trying to grow your business, you can't afford to risk missing a call from a new client, but your time is precious and can't be wasted on junk calls. Smith AI is the receptionist service every business owner needs. Our award-winning 24/7 virtual receptionists will answer your calls and schedule appointments. We'll even make outbound sales calls for you. Visit smith.ai to read our 5-star reviews and use code CALL for $100 off.
Been thinking about selling your car? Think you can get more selling it on your own? Selling it on your own can be a big hassle, not to mention it can be scary too. Find out what your vehicle is really worth with the coolest technology available. ACV Auctions will be in Jacksonville Friday and Saturday, January 21st and 22nd. Watch as hundreds of auto dealers bid on it in a live auction setting. You can sell it on the spot or just find out what it's worth. It's that easy and it's free. Proudly hosted by Mazda City of Orange Park at 6916 Blanding Spring Boulevard.
Playing golf is an important part of how I stay active. On the course, every shot counts, and the same is true in the fight against COVID-19. If we each take a shot at defeating COVID-19, then together we all win. In the fight against COVID-19, every shot counts. Schedule your shot today. This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed. Don't leave thousands on the table this year. Discover thousands of dollars in tax credits instead.
Check, please.
Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
The custodial team is not...
Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
100%. I think this was a game where, one, you're playing for your pride to get another win on the season. Only had 2 wins, and obviously that wasn't the plan. So to play for that pride, to get another win for this group, and just to feel good. But then you look at it from an individual perspective. Everybody wants to show what they can do. You want to show your value and what you can add to an organization, whether that's here, whether that's somewhere else. And for everyone to do that, to play for the team, to play for themselves, you're playing for everything. And that's how it should be every week. And just to do that and execute and have success, it feels good. But yeah, that's definitely some momentum we want to build off or build on this offseason.
Hopefully a little momentum. Listen, it's a Monday after the regular season. The Jags won. They got the #1 draft pick. They're looking for a new coach. Fire Balky's alive and well in the fan base, and he's still the GM. But just 2 quick thoughts about your guy, Ja Morant.
Yeah.
How about
basketball talk, baby? Hey.
How about the dunk and the block?
Good stuff.
I mean, the block was ridiculous.
That's just the kind of athleticism coming out of Murray State, Brent. You got to start taking note now, man.
I'm serious.
I just saw it for the first time.
Yeah, like if you
Pretty impressive, right?
If you don't watch the NBA much and it's on a Sunday,
Get out of here, Casey.
Right.
Casey, he's like what, 5-0? Come on, man.
I mean,
give him some props.
He seriously go watch it in slow mo and from behind. He actually almost like decapitates himself against the backboard because his head is like that high. Like
says he's 6'3". I'd probably put him at
6'3".
It
says he's
6'3" with a 44-inch vertical.
That's an NBA 6'3".
By
He's
the
like
way,
6'1".
He jumps higher in games because that was higher than 44 inches.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you got the adrenaline flowing
it
through
was
you a little bit.
amazing.
Yeah.
The dunk was good, too, but the block was ridiculous.
No, I saw that play, and then I want to go back on my Giannis Antetokounmpo comment where I'd rather take Giannis over John Morant. I thought about it a little bit.
He's
I wanted to
electric now.
redact my statement, but, yeah, he's special.
You know what's interesting about that? That's a good call. Like, in that we didn't have it in this conversation.
And meanwhile, Zion weighs 300 pounds. Yep, go ahead, sorry.
But Morant has a chance. Like, I just said the word electric. Well, Giannis doesn't do that. Giannis isn't like an electric player.
Brent.
Nah, this is different.
Brent. Have you seen the, oh, come on, the block to win the championship?
Well, I get it.
Brent.
Like,
he's electric.
I wouldn't call LeBron an electric player either, though, and he had a big block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? I just feel like there's
he's called the Greek Freak for like what Giannis can do.
He's
though,
called
man.
the Greek Freak because nobody's like him. He's unusual.
Well, yeah. Have you seen his
he's
arms?
A unicorn.
Yeah, the guy can dunk from the free throw line like it's nothing. Like that's electric. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Really, you characterize Giannis as electric?
I think Giannis Antetokounmpo has the characteristics to be electric. Yeah,
Really?
I think he's got the combination of size, speed, and just athleticism. He can be electric like that.
Like Dominique Wilkins was like electric.
Absolutely.
You know?
Chocolate Thunder, right?
Listen, like Larry Bird was way better than Dominique Wilkins, but he wasn't electric.
That's because Larry Bird couldn't dunk. So yeah, not electric. Discipline. He's like Tim Duncan.
You see all that
he's
Larry Bird stuff on social media?
Yeah, people are taking me in Larry Bird stuff now because he scored 40-something points with his left hand.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, layups. Cool. Awesome. Hey, I can make layups left-handed too.
John Morant definitely goaltended, by the way.
Case. Oh, man.
Hey, one other thing.
Can we start talking about basketball? Wait, save it for Friday, guys. All right? Save it for
No, because I got to say this. I actually think we Klay Thompson's story is a really cool story.
Yep.
I like this big Warriors fan, but like to go 941 days and go through what he did, ACL and Achilles.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's got to be hard, man. You know it because when you played, and we know it because we cover it, and the fan doesn't get this. The fan certainly doesn't get this. But being out when you're a professional athlete, really any athlete, but especially a professional athlete, is really, it can be one of the most depressing things. Like, I actually think people get depression from being out.
Yeah, it's one of the most, and like people are saying, well, that's your sob story, but you're also making a lot of money, which is true.
Yeah, they said he made $50 million. I bet he worked harder for that $50 million than he'll work for whatever he makes the rest of his career.
Yeah, there's just something about when you're put on IR, and I think in the NFL, whatever it was, you make like 2/3 of your money. There's something though, like when you go to the stadium and you do your rehab and stuff, but then you don't go to meetings, you don't go to practice, like you aren't a part of the team. Like you feel like you're just an outsider that gets paid to show up to the facility.
Absolutely.
Like, that's exactly what you feel like. So yeah, it's definitely a depressing circumstance, and I'm sure it's no different in the NBA than it is in the NFL.
But 941 days of it, like it's one thing. Like James Robinson's got a long road ahead. It's probably going to be about 365 days.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Are we talking about 3 years worth of stuff? I just thought it was a neat story coming back and all he's done there. And he's a very underrated player to begin with.
Yep.
And an underrated part of their championships.
He's also a great guy. It's hard to root against Klay Thompson.
It's hard to root. They're a likable team.
Exactly.
Draymond Green is not that likable. He's polarizing.
But I respect it,
But
though.
yeah, there's something about him that you actually like.
And once again, you can't stress this enough. They built through the draft.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get Kevin Durant going over there was like the super team. That's fine. But they're a super team compiled of draft picks. So you can't really hate on Golden State too much because draft better if you're a hater.
Investigate the Warriors. It's coming to Jacksonville. Just ask Mike Tannenbaum, baby.
Guy,
it's coming
seriously?
to Jacksonville. The Golden State Warriors for the next head coach. I'm taking that soundbite, and if I'm Shad Khan, I'm playing it on the Kismet during the interviews.
That guy tried to get a job application with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Shad Khan heard that and said, well, this guy's obviously on drugs. We can't even bring him in.
Who do you want, Tannenbaum or Balky right now?
I'm all set. Fan base.
Tannenbaum,
fans.
all in.
Nope.
Tannenbaum.
I'd rather have American Idol style voting on Twitter.
That would be awesome.
That's seriously. I don't want to know. There's
Could
no
you
way because
imagine?
him and Brendan, Stephon Diggs is good, or no, Trevon, whatever the guy's name, Trevon Diggs. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. But how many touchdowns did he give up this year? Set a record for that too. Yeah, we talk about the interceptions. Didn't talk about the touchdowns given up though, did we?
South Beach Gary.
Meanwhile, Christian Fulton just tearing the league apart.
South Beach Gary, I can't wait to talk to you today because I went 6 for 6 in my picks. Might have won me a little change because of that. And my last pick was the Dolphins plus 6.5, and they actually won outright. Didn't even make me squirmish at all for that. I just sealed the deal. So good win by the Dolphins, and worthy of beating Bill Belichick twice in the same year. and winning, 7 or 8 in a row, whatever it was, is getting fired on Monday, on Black Monday. What the hell, South Beach Gary?
First of all, shocking. What about the passing of Bob Saget today? What did he do to come to Jacksonville?
Yeah, he was just here a couple days ago.
Literally here 2 days ago.
He was just here.
Yeah. Yep.
She's 65.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Bob Saget was interesting to see the response on social media.
Yeah.
Because I thought my generation would be very disappointed. Like, I've never seen him perform the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously we know from Full House, and everybody watched Full House. At least I
America's
thought my
Funniest Home
generation.
Videos.
America's Funniest Home Videos. That's a good one, too.
Yep.
Because I was
That was
trying
my
to think,
childhood.
like, Casey, Bob Saget, did it hit you?
You didn't see my picture on Twitter, dog?
Oh, I
saw
did.
that,
I
man.
did. Yes,
Yeah.
dog.
That's a good call.
So why are you on Saget, I guess, is my point. Is it because of the comedy? Is it because of America's Funniest Home Videos? Is it because of Full House?
Neither of the three.
Because you met him?
Well, no, but he was the voice of future Ted in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
So it's more so, like, I did watch Full House, so, like, I'm with that.
So, like, your generation did watch the reruns of Full House?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
That's really what I was getting after. I didn't know it would strike a chord with the younger generation the way it did.
See, to me, it's like the Betty White effect. Like, Betty White was America's grandma. Bob Saget was America's dad.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very good. Very well said.
Thank you.
And shoot, you should be like a newspaper headline writer.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, South Beach Gary, thanks for bringing that up.
That's not paying anything, by the way.
Yeah, but on to the Brian Flores firing. Hello?
Yeah, we're here, man. We're hanging.
I didn't hear you guys. I guess it was just he had a bad relationship with Chris Greer, and apparently, I guess Chris Greer wanted some changes to the assistant coaches that Brian Flores wasn't amenable to, so they had a mutual parting of the way. So I guess.
Okay, does this bother you?
Yeah, it's a big story, man.
Does it bother you?
It kind of does, because I thought they played hard for Flores. Because they didn't give up when they were 1-7. They did win 8 out of their last 9, even though you said Monday was against inferior competition.
Which it was.
They did beat some teams that the Jags lost to, but they did beat the Patriots twice. They beat Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, so held him to the fewest points he ever as a starting quarterback. But my 3 guys going forward, I got to go with Jim Harbaugh, Nathaniel Hackett, or Eric Bieniemy. It was one of the 3 I want.
All right.
The new coach.
Thanks,
you.
guys.
I'm hearing rumors out of Miami, too. I'm reading that Flores was a big proponent for Will Fuller, actually. And that didn't really jive well with management when Will Fuller was absolutely stealing from the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah, it makes a little more sense now that this is coming out on Twitter. I don't want to name the sources. They're not checking, they're not verified, but I'm just saying.
By the way, Greer not only he gets 2 over Herbert, but Greer also gives Fuller a $10 million deal, and he keeps the job, to your point, Casey.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe if Flores comes to Jacksonville, then he'll bring Fuller with him.
Maybe.
And you can get your card autographed.
I got a few more. There's actually one in the car I have for you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, another Will Fuller card?
Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Here's the thing. I just thought about this. Brian Flores should have been fired alone for not playing Myles Gaskin and playing Duke Johnson. Would have won the championship if they just played Myles Gaskin.
Yeah.
By the way, I will say this. I thought Flores coached a horrendous game against the Jags in London. It was awful.
1 of 2 people to lose to Urban Meyer.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I have to carry that with him for a while.
But I will say this. Do you want the Jags to interview him?
I mean, yeah, take a look.
I mean, I think I didn't see – I don't know the years, but it's a crazy stat. Like, the Dolphins had 1 winning season in this stretch, and in the last 2 years under Flores, he had 2 winning seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't get over you fire that guy. And I understand you fire people for different reasons, all the stuff going on. I get it. And that should really red flag. Again, you've got to vet the hell out of this one.
Yeah.
Because what happened, and especially Jacksonville has to be very careful right now what they're bringing inside the stadium. I just think that's a big deal. A half to 180 from what just happened with Urban and even the last few years on the heels of that. So I mean, Flores intrigues me because from a culture standpoint and a winning game standpoint, I think he got a lot out of that football team. I don't think Miami is anything great.
Yeah.
But Still, it concerns me a little bit that they would fire him with that kind of record.
Is there anybody from the Bill Belichick coaching tree where it didn't kind of go bad?
I mean, actually, Flores might be one of the great success stories.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Vrabel.
it obviously went bad, though,
Vrabel.
but Vrabel wasn't a coach, though. Well, he was just a player.
No, he just played for him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it doesn't really kind of feels like it does. But.
Yeah.
No,
Bill O'Brien. Oh, Bill O'Brien.
No, that went bad. Yeah.
Had some success, but went bad.
Joe Judge is going bad. I mean,
McDaniels wasn't good as a head coach.
You think McDaniels goes for one of these jobs? Obviously, it doesn't seem like it's coming to Jacksonville, but now there's 6 jobs open. Maybe even the Giants. I don't know what happened with that meeting. They say Judge is coming back, but
which is insane.
Do you think McDaniels goes to Chicago with Justin Fields or waits for a quarterback? Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes back to Denver. They can't do that, right?
Well, why can't they?
They wouldn't do that.
If Aaron Rodgers went to Denver, why?
I just don't think they'd bring McDaniels back.
Why not? If Aaron Rodgers is there?
Yeah.
Hey, book it now. First coach fired, Joe Judge next year, if you can get the odds on that quickly.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely. Might not even make through training camp.
Yeah. All it takes is one press conference at the combine to really go ballistic.
Hey, 904-362-9901 if you want a couple Iceman tickets to the All-Star Game next week here in Jacksonville. ECHL All-Star Game. Be caller number 2, 904-362-9901. Give Casey a call right now. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 wherever you get your podcast to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Word is you have a new nickname around this place.
Sure do, Brent. Because you know
Where do
how
you like it? Nicknames are good sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so you know, like how when it's your birthday coming up, which it's my birthday month or whatever, like they kind of give you a little heads up. And I appreciate all the work that they do and everything. But when they say November birthdays and it's Austin Lane and this must be Thanksgiving themed, AKA free range hot buns. you guys like that? Is that good for you?
Here's to a new you in 2022. Cora Physical Therapy has opened 2 new state-of-the-art clinics in Kingsland and Brunswick. That means you have 17 clinics to choose from in the Jacksonville region. At Cora, you get access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. We do getting better, and faster. Call today for a free screening. Same-day appointments available. This new year, start to feel like the old you again. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com, treating everyone right.
Well, the holidays are behind us, and that means nothing but open road ahead. So make every mile this new year the best it can be in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma. Arlington Toyota's got 300 new Toyotas available and ready for wherever you want to go in 2022. Plus, every new car purchased from Arlington Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and Arlington's 30-day exchange program. Where will your new Toyota take you in 2022? Find out and shop ArlingtonToyota.com today.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
That new doctor is drop-dead gorgeous. Please, he's just another RV League-educated surgeon with good hair. No, he's different.
Nurses, we got a Class C motorhome with a detached driver's side mirror. Meet me in the OR. Stat.
Right away, doctor. No, she's on break. I'll handle this one. Oh, you conniving little...
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Hello, this is the Crooks Are Us Tips line with an urgent announcement regarding Safe Touch security.
As a crook, by now you surely know the Crooks Are Us golden rule: stay away from Safe Touch houses.
But we just received word that may not be enough now.
Wait till you hear this.
Credible reports have surfaced that Safe Touch security cameras captured one of our associates in the act of breaking into a house. Only the camera was from a neighbor's house across the street.
That is so not fair.
And what this means is it's not enough to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Now we gotta stay way away from Safe Touch houses.
Boss, does that mean we gotta change the Crooks Are Us golden rule?
No, just remember the sentiment.
Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Correct. Be safe, fellow crooks. Safe Touch is everywhere.
Receive free equipment and free installation with monitoring agreement. Terms and conditions apply. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
The new year is a great time to bring on new hires. Check out Indeed, the hiring platform that helps you find the people you need fast. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Want to get out of your dead-end job, but think you don't have time? Think again. Now you can complete the My Computer Career Evening program in 30 weeks, almost 30% shorter. You could start your new life as an IT pro in months, not years. More than just a school, My Computer Career helps you get into the industry by working with employers that have hired our students. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Thinking of hiring in the new year? Then think Indeed. The moment you sponsor a post, you receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description. Then simply invite them to apply. Get started at Indeed.com/credit.
The national championship is on ESPN 690. The Georgia Bulldogs and Alabama Crimson Tide will face off to be crowned the champion of the college football season. And you can hear it starting at 6 p.m. on Monday. Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton will take you from 6 to 7, getting you set for the game. Then coverage of the game starts at 7 right here on ESPN 690.
You don't think they have a chance at all against the Colts?
No.
Not at all. Okay. All right.
I mean, you got one team that wants to play. You got another team that wants to go home.
This is second and goal. Lawrence going to throw for it again, and it is a touchdown. Laquan Treadwell.
I mean, one team that's tired of it all, one team that's motivated. You got the best running back in the NFL. You got defense that gets turnovers.
Wentz pulls it down once, now throws, intercepted. Damian Wilson with the interception.
You got an offense that can't score really more than, I'd say, 13 points, but probably more like 10.
Lawrence pulled it down and throws to the end zone to Marvin Jones. Did he come down, feet in bounds? He did. Boy, what a depressing loss for Indianapolis here today, and what a stunning victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finish off a horrible season on as high a note as you can get.
I mean, great win, but it's still fired bulky. Yeah. I mean, 3 p.m. tomorrow, he better be gone. If not, all this positivity, out the door.
All right, let's check out the clock.
Guess what? It's now 5:50.
Oh, man.
And still no word from Shad Khan on Trent Baalke. He's still the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He will interview Darrell Bevell tomorrow for the head coaching job. Nathaniel Hackett's on the list. Will they put Brian Flores on the list? Are you surprised to not see Doug Peterson on people's lists?
A little bit.
Like in Chicago, we haven't seen. Now, it doesn't mean they're not, by the way. This are the reported lists out there. We haven't seen Doug Peterson. I heard his name floated around in Denver, but I don't think I've officially seen he's going to interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised because one would think former Super Bowl champion that he would be like the top of everybody's list. But maybe teams are a little turned off the way things ended in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I guess that's something to keep an eye on if they know more, right? Or if they vetted out, or they just want to do something a little bit different. Like, you know, Dan Quinn interviewing out there doesn't surprise me. Hackett is in the mix. Kellen Moore's in the mix. Bieniemy's in the mix in Denver. So it showcases some things. I would think they want to go offense. They've got a lot of receivers and talent. They just went defense. Usually you maybe go the other way. But Dan Quinn, I'll tell you this, I've heard some things that he was going to be a highly sought-after guy, and he must have known that because that's part of the reason he said, I think I'll pass on Jacksonville. I'm going to have a couple other options.
Sure.
And maybe maybe he's a front runner for Denver. People say has a relationship with the GM out there. We will see. Nice work by Casey on the open. Go check out some more fan reaction you guys got yesterday, and block your ears if you're around the kids.
Oh, yeah.
On Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I mean, it had a little bit of everything, Brent.
It did.
It had Colts fans. It's got Jaguars fans. It had just random moms in front of their families trying to holler at me. It was an eclectic group of people. Yeah, it was just an eclectic group of people.
That poor her poor daughter.
Oh yeah, so embarrassed.
She was so excited.
Husband. Yeah.
Well, the husband was like, "It is what it is." But the daughter was like so excited to see Austin
because I'm from the morning show.
From the morning show.
Yeah.
And then the mom said, "I'm going to shoot my shot right here and now in the parking lot."
Yeah. Poor daughter. And by the way, that's what actually made it to. Yeah, good point. That's what actually made it to footage. By the way, Brent, we have like 20 other minutes of like unedited.
So you guys were out there a while.
We're out there. We interviewed
there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go out try to get like Trent Baalke leaving the stadium like some others shouted at him?
Wasn't gonna wait behind that long, man.
By the way, I will say this: I saw those videos of people shouting like a guy. I don't know who that is, and he might listen to the show, and I might love you for listening to the show.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that kind of stuff. I think that's a little
respectful.
much. He's somewhat respectful. He got like a little kid next to him. He's yelling at the GM of the Jags, like, just resign. I mean,
I think he said please.
I think he might have. I think, again, I feel like I said this on Friday. I'm not sure what Baalke did necessarily to bring this on. I think Shad Khan or at least Ian Rappaport brought this on Baalke because of the report.
Yeah.
I really don't know again, I say this from a human element. I think they should get rid of Baalke too, okay? For a lot of reasons. Yeah. But I just don't know if he's earned the kind of venom around here that he's receiving. I really don't, from, again, a human element of it. I think he's a victim of circumstance right now in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you're kind of more of like the feel-good guy, like the Sunshine and Rainbows guy. So I get like there's definitely a human element to this that's not getting talked about enough. It reminds me like of Mean Girls when Lindsay Lohan got in trouble with Regina George when Regina George put out the burn book and everybody blamed Lindsay Lohan and she's walking into school. Remember, everyone's just like staring at her and Lindsay Lohan's like, "What did I do?" That's what it feels like to be Baalke right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in that school. Would you? Brent, you know what I'm talking about.
Make that open.
Hey, Brent, you ever see Mean Girls? You see? I know it's got a connotation. It's like a teeny bopper movie. Yeah. Mean Girls is good.
Mean Girls is good.
I'm serious.
It's a great film.
It's a great film.
100%.
It's well done.
What was more stunning, the win over the Colts yesterday or the win over the Bills?
It's a great question.
And I'll double down on that question and say which defensive performance was better?
Oh, wow, Brent. Great questions. I think defensive performance would have been the Colts game.
I do too.
But I think the crazier one was the Bills game.
I do too.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were bigger underdogs against the Bills.
Correct.
But they were playing better football at that time. The reason why you could vote for the Colts, really the only reason we don't probably vote the Colts here is because we know the Jags have had their number.
True.
And so there's a little sign that they play well against Indy. Doesn't matter if.
Yeah.
And the Bills are better.
Yeah, and then MVP candidate at the time, too, and Josh Allen.
Yeah. Well, one team was a playoff team, yeah.
Well, but the Colts, a must win. The situation must win. Jags just going home, playing out the string. Colts playing really good. I mean, you can make the case the Colts were playing better than the Bills were when they came in here.
Yeah.
Well, one team didn't have Carson Wentz, so that helped.
That's a great point. 4.4 QBR rating?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
But I agree. I agree with you. I think yesterday's performance on defense was actually more dominating.
Yes.
And the one against the Bills was really good. Yeah. Really good. Mm-hmm. All right, hey, Shaq Griffin set to join us tonight at 7 o'clock on Jags Report Live at Sneakers. We'll see you there. Casey and Brian Middleton going from 6 to 7, Action Sports Jax overtime. That will take you right into the national championship game on ESPN 690. You like Alabama tonight?
I like Bama.
I kind of like Bama, even though I hope the Dogs win. Alabama's.
Yeah.
Casey's going to buy a new house after tonight.
This could be Georgia by 20 this week.
All right, Casey and Brian coming up next. Action Sports Jax OT. More to come tomorrow here on ESPN 690 with us at 3 p.m. Voted best gift of the year for golfers by the ESPN 690 Golf Enthusiast Review Board. Want to make the golfer in your life love you even more? Order the 2022 ESPN Dream 18 card for just $69. Big discounts on golf all year. Golf courses are raising their rates with the recent boom. The Dream 18 card has even more value now. For less than dinner for two at your favorite upscale restaurant, you will receive tremendously discounted rounds at some of the area's best golf courses. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, the Yards added this year, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker's Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Play 2 rounds of golf, and the card pays for itself. $69, that's it. Some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at ActionSportsJaxDream18.com. Supplies are limited. Go to ActionSportsJaxDream18.com.
I spend a lot of my days in meetings with clients, and my ringer is off for hours. But I never worry about missing a call from a client or prospective client because I use Smith AI. All right, you're probably wondering, what the heck is that? Smith AI is a 24/7 virtual receptionist service. Their award-winning professional receptionists answer my calls and schedule appointments. They even make outbound sales calls for me. They've helped me get many new clients. Visit smith.ai to read 5-star reviews and use code PHONE for $100 off. Trust me, every small business needs Smith AI.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7. And we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time without the unnecessary fees. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Action Sports Jax overtime. Cool vibe getting going on a Monday. I like it, Brian Middleton. I like what you're doing. Just sat down in the chair. The balding is back. I totally forgot about it. I was in this chair earlier. Brent had a TV hit, so we kind of did the switching operation, and the balding is back. What a disaster. Hate that. Anyway, Action Sports Jax overtime, ESPN 690. Brian Middleton on the ones and twos at the broadcast on Gay Adam. Casey Kurtz with you as well at K Kurtz. And Brian Middleton, we got you for a whole hour tonight. We're getting you set for the national championship, which will be coverage will start at 7. Kickoff will be at 8 right here on ESPN 690. So we'll get you set for that. We will also get you set for Brian Middleton's primetime debut. Right?
What are you talking about, Casey?
I didn't want to. I wanted to leave it pretty vague so you could elaborate or not.
Okay.
So are you choosing to not?
I mean, I know we teased from last week, I feel like you keep the anticipation going just for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Next break, after the next break, we'll divulge what potentially you may see during the national championship game involving a member of ESPN 690.
Yeah, and it won't be me. Rumor has it it's also not Brett Martineau. So Austin Lane, Brian Middleton are the last two options. You got to tune in, though. But if you can't tune in, obviously, be sure to listen right here on ESPN 690. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We're going to talk about what's going on in the NFL, as well as we got all kinds of stuff. We got some vague headlines as well. Start with this, though, Brian Middleton. We'll start with the college or the National Football League, the coaching movement that's going on. I ask you this as a Carolina Panthers fan. Matt Rule, did you want him fired?
Here's the deal. No, right?
Okay.
But he
oh, okay. Yeah,
because
I got a great idea. Thanks.
Yeah, because the way it went down with him and his offensive coordinator, the way that it seemingly has fallen apart, who knew that Christian McCaffrey was so important to everybody?
Right.
I get the fact that it didn't end the way that we wanted it to as a Carolina Panther fan, but man, it got Jacksonville ugly up there. The last 5 to 6 weeks,
yeah,
it was just slowly imploding, and I'm like, what is happening here? And he was just he's making poor decisions. I think optic wise, at least. I don't know if there's like a toxic culture that he's starting to form up there, but the kind of pushback and blowback that he's gotten from a lot more people up that way, it's interesting. I didn't see that coming, especially when you start the season the way that they did so well, 3-0, and it's not going well. But the way that people are getting fired around here, I texted you earlier about Brian Flores.
Yep.
I mean, Matt, I got to be real with you. You should be thankful right now that you're not fired, because they're firing everybody who is decent to actually having some good seasons in the past. So I don't want to see him fired. Give him another season. See if maybe if McCaffrey can stay healthy for, 8 games out of a 17-game schedule. Maybe that helps out. Let's see what we do with the quarterback position. So
two-parter following up Carolina Panthers talk here on ESPN 690. But I think it's interesting. You have quite a few job openings now. The Chicago Bears, the Minnesota Vikings. The Raiders, I'm guessing, probably will not be open. That's just a gut feeling. Obviously, the Jags, the Dolphins as well. Are you just said you're not mad they fired him. Okay. Does this weigh into your decision that the Carolina Panthers are not a better job than the Bears or the Vikings or the Jags or the Dolphins? Like, it would not be the best job available, in my opinion. It would be at the bottom, just because of the cap room and the picks, and you have no quarterback, so that's obviously going to hurt you. So does that weigh into your decision, one? And two, do you trust Matt Rule to make a decision on the quarterback, whether he stick with Sam Darnold or drafts one? Do you trust him to make that decision?
I'll take the second one first.
Okay.
I trust his decision-making on the quarterback unless he chooses Sam Darnold. And then in which case I don't trust him anymore.
Okay.
And, that's not a knock to Sam Darnold. Sam, he's been in the league, it feels like how long? Like 10 years, right? He's only 24.
Right.
I get it. He's still really young. I just don't see him being the leader of the Carolina Panthers' resurgence into making the playoffs consistently year after year after year. And, again, it started off great. So I was like, hey, maybe it was just the New York Jets. And I think the Jets had a big part of it, of ruining his early on development. But anyway, I trust his decision to make the decision of quarterback.
All right.
The first question was whether or not I think
because of the jobs that are open,
that were better. I think to each their own. If they can find somebody who wants to come to Carolina because they think Carolina, they could make it work, then you could go ahead and let go of Matt Rule. Is it the best job out there? I would ask, why wouldn't it be a better job than Jacksonville? And people would say, oh, you got Trevor Lawrence, you got the cap room,
yes. And you have the first pick.
And you probably are going to get to decide whether or not you keep the GM or not. So you're really going to have, a lot of power, I'm assuming. So, sure, But other people may look at the Carolina team right now and be like, you know what, that defense is great. If there's no reason that McCaffrey is going to stay healthy, or you have some of the other pieces there. But listen, I'm coming in with a team that started off great. It fell apart, but why did it fall apart? Well, because we lost one of our best players. Well, can we shore that up in some other way? So, it just depends on the individual. On the surface level, though, I would agree that, you start looking at teams like the Bears and you got, Justin Fields and everything that he could potentially be. And the Vikings, who, all in all, they have a lot of weapons as well, but they just haven't performed for whatever reason. Yeah, it's probably not the best on surface level job, but it just depends on the person as well. So I don't know how much that really weighed into the decision making for the owner on whether or not to keep Matt Rule. For me personally, I don't think that that's going to be the top reason on whether or not you keep a coach right now, because you can find somebody who can win you, can coach you to 5 games. Not Urban Meyer, but you can find somebody who can coach you to 5 games with that team.
Yeah. Keep that same energy, though, for a second as we talk about this a little bit more. ESPN 690 Extra Sports Jax Overtime. We're going to talk college football here for most of the show, but obviously the headlines of the day are the coaches that are no longer employed. So I ask you this, Brian Middleton. You got the Bears, you got the Vikings, you got the Dolphins, the Jags. I'm not counting the Raiders and the Broncos. The best job available, all things considered: Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, cap room, current picks, Justin Jefferson, the Broncos defense, everything considered, the best job available is what?
I'm not a homer, clearly, but this Jags team, this is really a diamond. It's a diamond in the rough.
I can't wait for this.
If you think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be as good as that guy on the stream that I sent you the screenshot of, if you think that he's going to be, that great at the very least, and many prior to this season coming in predicted that he's going to be really, really, really good, well, that should be enticing. This defense has some pieces. You do have another shot at, the number 1 overall draft pick, depending on what they decide to do with it. And then, when you start talking about that second-round pick, well, you're getting first-round talent.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right there. So you got 2 first-round picks at the very least. And you're right, you have cap room. You start talking about the other things that you can use to entice players, like, no state income tax, things like that. You can pitch Jacksonville as a very lucrative and enticing space for not just a coach, but for players and free agents and things of that nature. So I think Jacksonville has to be up there. But I think that each one of these teams definitely have their pros, their big-time pros. Again, I talked about, Chicago, as much as I hate is a strong word, fantasy-wise hate David Montgomery for what he did to me.
Yep.
And by did to me, I mean someone injured him, messed his knee up for week 5 or something like that.
Boy, do I have a story for you, by the way.
Yeah, okay, I can't wait to hear it.
Uh-huh.
David Montgomery, solid running back. You got Justin Fields there. I mean, you have pieces with each one of these teams and things that would make you say, huh. And the Broncos situation.
You're going to advocate for every job, huh?
Well, no, here's the deal. I told you Jacksonville is number 1, and now I'm saying but you can look at each one of these teams. You can look at each one of these teams and make an argument. At least I could.
Well, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. It's the Minnesota Vikings, and it's not close. It's not close at all. The team you haven't even advocated for yet. Don't even come at me with Kirk Cousins slander, because I'm about to give you some Kirk Cousins positivity. 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 66% completion percentage.
All right.
Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson.
Hey, I'm with you. Adam Thielen,
Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison.
Pieces. Yeah.
Who did tight end that got hurt? Irv Smith.
Hey, Irv Smith. That's the deciding factor right there. Irv Smith.
They can't play a lick of defense, and that's the problem.
And isn't that so crazy? Do you remember when the Vikings actually had
Yeah, I know.
Like 2 Pro Bowlers right on the defensive line, like both of the D tackles, and it was just like, yo, the Vikings, that's what they do. We know that they're going to be able to play good defense. It's so crazy how that changed, shifted up there in Minnesota. And here's the deal. Kirk Cousins slander. Here we go. Kirk Cousins is like warm soda, right? When you're thirsty, you look at that glass, you don't know it's warm yet. You think it's going to quench your thirst, and all it does is make you thirstier. Like, what is happening right here? Is there salt in here or something like that? He looks good, but it doesn't get the job done. Kirk Cousins, NFL quarterback, I'll never be able to do that. But when you talk about, according to his peers, he's going to get you, 8 wins, 7 wins, 10-win season. He may sneak in an 11 or 12-win season. You don't know. It depends on if certain things go their way. But you're not getting to the Super Bowl. You like that?
Not really.
Yeah, I tied that in.
That was good. No, look, I'm just saying that, by the way, Mark on Facebook agrees, Minnesota has the pieces on offense to win now. They do. And that's why it's the best job available. Now, they seem to be in a good spot on offense. Not they seem to be. They are. They're in a good spot on offense. Now you take somebody who's just been fired. If you hire an offensive coach, whatever, in Minnesota. But look at all the great defensive coordinator candidates you now have. You got Vic Fangio. You got Brian Flores. Pretty good options. So, obviously, Mike Zimmer didn't work and defensive thing there. But at the end of the day, you have good options. And if you have anybody that thinks they can fix a defense, because you don't really have to fix much on offense, you're going to be in good shape. That's why the Vikings are the best job.
Get Gus Bradley.
I'm just saying.
Well, he's
defense.
I mean, Gus. I mean, in theory,
it was a joke.
No, but no, I see what you're saying. You're talking about as a defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In theory, I mean, that's a lateral move. I mean, he's with the Raiders, who are obviously better.
Oh no, not defense. No, I'm saying you can get somebody who can fix a defense. Why not?
You're
be
talking
the head
as
guy?
a head coach. Yeah, no.
Why not be the head guy?
Yeah, no. I like what you're doing though.
Those Gus Bradley defenses here, you know.
Yeah.
Vaunted.
Yep. That's them. Vaunted. Anyway, you heard it here first, though. Brian Middleton thinks the Jags are a better job than the Vikings. We're going to laugh him out of the building on this break. But when we come back, if Brian Middleton is still with us, we're going to talk some college football. That's what we're here to do. The national championship, Georgia, Alabama. I got a fantasy football story to tell Brian Middleton.
Keep that same energy. You hear me? You keep that same energy next season. I'm pulling clips. You know I'll pull clips,
yeah,
too.
I know.
And don't you dare be in no picture with Trevor or Miles or Shaq. I'm going to be like, nope, I'm playing this right here, right now. Man. This is what he thought about you.
Shaq Griffin, by the way, Jags Report Live at the beach, sneakers, 7 o'clock with Brent Martineau.
Mr. Promo.
Jags Report Live, College Football National Championship coming up after us. We got more to do. Stick with us. Action Sports Jax Overtime on ESPN 690. What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jax, and I have more brand new local coverage to tell you about. Every Monday and Thursday after Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6, we're giving you more of what you want, more Action Sports Jax. From 6 to 6:30, myself, Casey Kurtz, and Brian Middleton will bring you Action Sports Jax Overtime. There's a lot of topics in sports, and sometimes we can't hit them all from 3 to 6. We'll hit them all on OT. So join us 6 to 6:30 every Monday and Thursday night right here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clouds will gradually clear as we go through the night tonight. Quite chilly. Grab a sweater or a jacket, dropping to near 40 by morning. Plenty of sun, but a breezy, cool Tuesday. The afternoon high in the upper 50s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Get the guaranteed lowest price at the only locally owned diamond store in the St. John's Town Center.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
Action Sports Jax overtime. ESPN 690. We're taking you up to the national championship. That'll be Georgia. That will be Alabama. The SEC. Austin Lane likes to say it just means more. But low key, looks like it does this year. Because the teams that it meant more to, they're playing in the national championship. They're playing on ESPN 690, which is really what you're working for, is to have an opportunity to have your game broadcast on ESPN 690 for the people to hear. And that will happen tonight at 7. What disrespectful thing are you going to say?
No, two things, Casey.
Okay.
The first being, do you want me to get you the Kirk Cousins jersey? Because in the break, the way that you defend them, I was like, well, maybe they're cousins. I don't know, your second cousins or something like that. And then 2, you have a picture with every famous person ever on earth right now, right? I'm surprised you didn't post a Betty White one. I saw your Twitter feed the other day. I don't know. It looks like that was years ago, probably. Yeah. For people that don't know, Casey posted a picture with Bob Saget, and we know that he passed away, unfortunately, I believe it was yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Casey, listen, man, you run in circles that other people can only dream of, man.
Okay, so I was going to do that, but we'll do it now since you brought it up. But first, I just want to – the Kirk Cousins conversation did spoil into the break. But here's the thing.
Does Casey really wants Kirk Cousins to lead his Jacksonville Jaguars?
No, I don't. Please,
Kirk Cousins over Trevor Lawrence every day of the week.
I didn't say that, but here's what I did say.
He implied it, though.
Here's what I did say. When you lose a game 34-33, that's not your fault.
It is. Look at his paycheck. He
doesn't play defense.
Exactly. So why are we – the reason why –
exactly? He's not paid to play defense. He's paid to play offense.
The money is on the offensive side.
So you're saying they don't have enough to pay the defense?
I'm saying that all of your money is on the offensive side. Not all of it, right? Of course. Millionaires on both sides of the ball. But listen, when you're paying your quarterback, even though now I guess it is much more friendly than probably a contract that's going to be set right now, because when he came, it was all guaranteed. But what was it, like $90 million guaranteed?
Yeah,
$85 million?
It was a lot.
It was something insane where I was like, well, they're not winning the Super Bowl. Listen, man, there's only so much money that you can spend.
I know, but listen, 34-33, they lost to the Cardinals. 34-31, they lost to the Ravens. 29-27, they lost to the Lions. I know what you're going to say, but I just looked it up. He threw for 380 and 2 touchdowns.
Okay,
Okay, he did not turn the ball over in that game.
Kirk Cousins still – so what you're saying is Kirk Cousins is good enough to take his team to the Super Bowl. It's the players around him.
What?
I'm trying to figure out where your
what I'm saying is if you give him if they would have had any sort of defense at all this year, you have an opportunity. Like you lose a game.
Stop the cap.
No, if you score over 30 points, you should win. I don't.
Somebody did score 30 points and they did win. Now.
Yeah, it wasn't his team.
Okay, but somebody did.
I don't know. I'm done with Kirk Cousins, man.
Are you? I'll get you that jersey, man. Early Christmas present.
Appreciate it. We got a long way to go for Christmas. Action Sports Jax overtime, ESPN 690. Brian Middleton on the 1s and 2s, Casey Kurtz, and I'm saving the Bob Saget story. I'll push it to a little bit later, but okay. I will share a good Bob Saget story or two before we get out of here. Rest in peace to Bob Saget. Terrible, horrible news. That you just in general, when people die, it's pretty bad news. But somebody that everybody can relate to, I guess. It doesn't make it any more sad than when anybody else dies, but just in general, It's a tough one for people to swallow, and that's what happened yesterday. But we will continue on, and we will talk about what's coming up at 8 p.m. tonight. Coverage will start at 7 right here on ESPN 690, and that is the national championship, Brian Middleton. And rumor has it, Stetson Bennett, against everything I've said about the guy, won a football game and is now in position to win a national championship for the Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I understand he played well in the semifinal game, but I do not believe Stetson Bennett can win them a national championship. Did you see enough in the semifinal to either A, change your mind if you felt that way, or am I just flat out wrong and you're going to tell me why Stetson Bennett is good enough to win a national championship?
For the sake of the show and argument, I should take the latter, but I would take the former. Listen, UGA, you do this year after year. We ranted about it. I know I did. They do this year after year. They looked outstanding against Michigan. I told you, I was like, man, I thought Michigan, they were some bullies, which they were to other teams, but when they start playing SEC, it was just a different level when we start talking about the top 2 or 3 teams like Alabama and UGA. UGA should, by all accounts, be undefeated, be the 1 seed, and should be favorited by more than, 2 points? On
2.5, yeah.
2.5 over Alabama based off of the projections of that defense and honestly some of the pieces on offense. But we've seen this before. I like to do this interchangeably. UGA is the Green Bay Packers of college football.
Oh, no.
What we're going to do is get the fans hopeful, get the fans happy, talking that talk, and what are they going to do in the biggest game? There should be no surprise if UGA wins the game tonight. Would I put money on it? No. Would I put Casey's money on it? No.
Thank you, because I'm sure as heck not.
Because the deal is, you are facing Alabama. You are facing Nick Saban. And though this Alabama team, this iteration of it, I think people are so stuck on how dominant the team is, which they still are right now. And UGA is just up there, their players, their play, and in a way have caught up, if we want to look at it that way. Alabama, the run that they've been on is insane.
Right.
For them to have beat the brakes off of UGA, beat the brakes off the Bulldogs, come in as the 1 seed, beat Cincy the way they did, because really they called the Dogs off. I don't care what anybody tells me. I watched that game and they called the Dogs off. And then to come into the national championship game and be the underdogs? Come on, man. It's like you want Alabama to win. Now I'm thinking somebody wants Alabama to win. All they did was give Nick Saban and all of those players, like, what do we have to do? We got to beat them again? All right. But no, I don't have faith in UGA, not because of the lack of talent and not really because of the coaching. I have it because there's something in their DNA as a team, as a university, that they can't get over the hump, at least not in the last, 1980, 1970? 1980. That's 40 years ago. I got to see it to believe it.
Yeah. Hold on, though. You said in the beginning of that, angrily, it sounded like a rant. I guess technically it wasn't, but it sounded like a rant. You said you wouldn't be surprised if Georgia won.
Because you look at the talent.
Right, but take that out of it. Take that out of it for 1 second.
Well, okay. Do you want me to take the talent out of it and just look at
Yes,
what?
I would, because I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
It is surprising to see Alabama lose at all. It doesn't matter who they're playing. It doesn't matter how much talent's on the field. It is surprising when the Alabama Crimson Tide lose a football game. So, on that part of it alone, I would be surprised if the confetti's coming down and Alabama lost, because they do not lose football games.
But here's the deal, and point taken. We've seen Alabama lose football games and win the national championship. Like, we've seen that.
Right.
So if I've not only just watched Nick Saban, who's been the coach when this has happened, if I've not only seen Alabama win undefeated, busting everybody head wide open to the white meat, and holding up the trophy. Nick Saban still not smiling at the end of the season. You're like, man, you got the Heisman, you got the, the national championship. Like, you're still not happy? I'm ready for next season. But we've also seen Nick Saban lose a game, not win the conference, and still win the national championship. He's proven it over and over and over again that he knows how to get his team ready to do that, whether they're the most dominant, whether people are doubting them, whether they're the underdog, or whether they're the favorite. And that's why I say in that case, it is surprising to watch them lose, but I still have faith that they're going to win. And so when I'm taking the talent out of it, that's the avenue that I would give you as far as my thought process on why Alabama should be the favorite. But I usually can't take talent out of it. And there's just so many good players on UGA. You're just like, stop them from, scoring 40. Let them, you can do this. I've seen you do it. The other teams, I've seen you do it. So.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And the question will obviously be, and we'll find out pretty quick, is in the SEC championship, Georgia could not, they couldn't stop them, but Alabama ran up tempo so much, which it is college football, and they do that a lot. But Georgia could not substitute as they freely could usually, and that played a factor. So the question will be, is Alabama going to continue to try to do that? Or will Georgia find a way to fix that? And then when he goes deeper, does Saban think that Kirby figured out a way to fix that? So then they're going to do this to try to offset that, and then they're going to do this. It's going to be a cat and mouse game, but the defense was not there in the SEC championship. It came back against Michigan, but I'll tell you right now, Michigan and Alabama are two different things. So
that's the truth.
Ain't that the truth? Anyway, we got more of that. We'll talk Bryce Young. We'll talk more about Alabama as a whole. Will a player on the field be the number 1 overall pick in the draft and come to Jacksonville? We'll talk a little bit about that. We still got vague headlines as well. We got more to do here. Action Sports Jax Overtime on ESPN 690. Stick with us.
Quitting nicotine isn't easy, which is why Tobacco-Free Florida offers free tools and services like free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're also trying out music to help motivate smokers to quit.
Not another cigarette would be late. Now there's someone living tobacco-free. It's you.
Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Koala, koala, koala insulation.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
Ben, when you're in the mood for love, but you have ED or PE and those little blue pills haven't worked, here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Rabinski. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. We guarantee you'll see results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Start your new year in a like-new car from the pre-owned experts at Arlington Toyota. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 300 used available. All makes, all models. Some even same model year. You've got to see it. And when it comes to buying with confidence, just leave it to my friends at Arlington. Their 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Add some major excitement to your new year and an amazing new ride from Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. In person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where we bring it all together. And bundling your home and auto is good, right? And it saves you up to 25%. It all comes together. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Bundled savings discounts will vary by state. Saving up to 25% is a countrywide average of savings off the home policy. Combining the multiple policy discount for having auto insurance with Allstate and the welcome discount savings at enrollment.
Action Sports Jax Overtime, ESPN 690. Brian Middleton on the ones and twos. Casey Kurtz with you as well. We're taking you up to the national championship, Georgia and Alabama. We will get back to that in a second because we have some business to take care of on Action Sports Jax Overtime. We do it every Monday. Call it Vague Headlines. Brian Middleton has the headlines.
Yes, I do. Big headlines. I asked Casey one sport-related topic. Actually, I give him two options. I don't even know the rules, Casey. I give him two.
I didn't either, as you could tell.
I give him two options. One sport, vague headline, one non-sport. He chooses, then we delve into it even deeper. Casey, you ready?
Never been more ready.
Okay, we'll see.
Probably, yeah.
So first two, another one, or Tony Montana Esquire. Another one, or Tony Montana Esquire. You familiar with Tony Montana?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like how you're saying another one, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay, cool. A little bit of college football. Here we
Interesting.
go.
All right.
Actual headline.
Please be about Quinn.
That hate. You got that Casey Bayless hate for Quinn Ewers. Here we go.
That's true.
Actual headline. 4-star wide receiver Kevin Coleman commits to Jackson State over Miami, FSU, and more. So the Jackson State Tigers added a weapon to their future passing attack on Saturday when wide receiver Kevin Coleman joined their 2022 recruiting class. Coleman made his surprising announcement during the 2022 Army All-American Bowl. He said that Jackson State head coach Deion Sanders was a main reason behind his commitment to the Tigers. The Miami Hurricanes had been considered a heavy favorite in getting his services. Other teams showing interest were, check this out, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon, Penn State, and Texas. So, according to 24/7 Sports rankings, Coleman checks in at around 5'11" and 170 pounds. 4-star, like I said earlier, the number 44 overall player, number 4 wide receiver, and number 1 player from the state of Missouri in this upcoming class. So, Casey, here's the question.
All right.
First, it was Travis Hunter. Now it's this kid. Is this the start of a trend? Are big programs, do they need to start plotting to sink this trend before it goes any further?
So I have a couple of answers, but to answer your question, is this a trend? Yes, it's absolutely a trend, and it's a thing. And I'm not going to fault anybody for making a decision on where they go to college because it doesn't matter, I don't think, anymore because you can transfer freely, which is fine. I'm all for it. And we probably will see some of these kids transfer that make these decisions. We'll see kids that go to Alabama transfer. So it's not a shot at the college or anything. It's just everybody is going to transfer. Couple things on this specific scenario, though. One, if you turn down Alabama, you're probably making a bad decision. I'm just saying, have you seen the receivers that have gone to Alabama?
That's a great point.
I'm just saying. However, when it comes to Jackson State, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not locked into Jackson State football on Saturdays. But you know what I did watch a little bit of? The Cricket Celebration Bowl, in which Jackson... What? Yeah, I know. But that was right after Hunter signed, so I wanted to see, what he was getting into, what Deion was building there. They lost 31-10 to South Carolina State.
Yeah.
A 7-5 team. So that was not the world's best showing after a 11-1 season, which I do respect. Don't get me wrong. But South Carolina State at 7-5 came in and beat the brakes off you. And I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think there was a lot of players opting out to go to the draft. So either way, it was not a good look at the end of the season for Jackson State. But
you're so petty for that.
To answer,
that one line. You're
to
so petty
answer your question,
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it is a trend. I don't know how you fix it And it doesn't need to be fixed, so that's the wrong word. I don't know how you, if you're a big program, try to stop that from happening. I think you have to let kids make the decisions that they want to make when it comes to transferring, when it comes to where they decide to go in the first place, NIL, all of it. I think the decision needs to be left up to the kids, and if they make the wrong decision, they'll find out and they'll try to right that decision. But I don't know how it will be tried to fixed, but I'm sure Nick Saban's plotting something as we speak.
Already. Ready to sink it.
Yep.
All right, next two. One-way shootout or kind of Mexican Popeyes. One-way shootout or kind of Mexican Popeyes.
Can we say that?
We just did. I don't know.
We'll go with the second one. I'll let you keep saying it.
Okay. Action Sports Jax overtime with Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton. So kind of Mexican Popeyes. So the bastion of Mexican food, Taco Bell, debuts chicken wings on the menu. So, Casey, for 1 week only, Taco Bell customers can order the chain's new crispy chicken wings. And after it came out this past Thursday, the new menu item went viral on TikTok with varying reviews.
Okay.
Really? I saw a bunch of it. Okay.
You're on TikTok like that?
Yeah. So as of this weekend, the hashtag Taco Bell Wings has received 12.8 million views on TikTok. According to one user who appears to be a Taco Bell employee, the wings are made with Taco Bell's fries seasoning and served with spicy ranch. So Casey Kurtz, chicken wings at a fast food taco place, whack or genius?
So when you first said wings at a fast food spot, I thought genius. But then when the Taco Bell part came, I thought a little bit whack. Because to be honest with you, man, none of us really know what we're eating at Taco Bell. Like, we know what we're ordering. We don't know what we're actually eating. And that's just kind of been like the way it's gone for the history of Taco Bell. And no one's really said anything about it. So it's an interesting situation that Taco Bell puts us in right there. Because they, I think it's a genius idea, though. I'm not going to lie.
So you're going to try it then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I'll try the Arby's ones, too.
I didn't know Arby's had it. Okay.
They got boneless wings.
Wow. Okay. So like nuggets?
More or less.
Oh, okay. And call it wings?
Yes, they call it boneless wings.
All right. There we go.
On YouTube, we got the beef is 33% real. LOL. I believe that, actually.
Hey, but they season it to perfection.
I tell you what, though.
It takes it the other 67%. Yeah.
You know.
Y'all gonna stop talking down on Taco Bell like y'all didn't eat it every night during college. Not every night, but you wouldn't be here if you did. So anyway.
Exactly.
All right, Casey. So we got our final two. Young Guns or Pays to Quit. Young Guns or Pays to Quit.
Go with the first one.
Young Guns. I like this. I want to hear your thoughts on this for real. Actual headline. Top QBs under 25. So, Casey, you remember, like I said earlier in the show, I was texting you during the Jags win.
I do remember that, yes.
I sent you that screenshot of the feed I was watching, and you remember what it said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it said that Trevor Lawrence was better than Justin Herbert. Now, at this current point in time, that is a ridiculous statement. Just, I'm not knocking Trevor, but that's ridiculous to say that right now. But it got me thinking, Casey, who's the best QB under 25 that's not a rookie? So I'm going to give you a couple of options, sir. Okay? Lamar Jackson, 25. Joe Burrow, 25. Kyler Murray, 24. Sam Darnold, only because that's your guy, 24. Justin Herbert, 23. Jalen Hurts, 23.
How old is Mahomes?
26, I believe.
Okay. I see how that works. Okay. Justin Herbert is the answer. He is 26, by the way. I love Joe Burrow. I think Lamar Jackson is very talented. Oh, so I'm wrong?
I didn't say
You're going to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong?
Did I play a drop? Did I play any sound effect?
No, but you're making a sound effect with your mouth.
That's fair.
Okay.
Good point.
So here's the kicker. I'm confused how you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong when he threw for 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns. 5,000 yards. 5,000.
I like the way that you're digging. See, you're digging your grave for something in the future. You don't even realize it because you keep talking about these stats like that, and I love it. Keep going, sir.
I'm interested. But
that'll come later on, a later show.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Yes, I think it's Justin Herbert. I think Joe Burrow's very good. Sam Darnold is my guy, but he's trash, unfortunately, as it turns out, against all odds, which kind of stinks. Lamar, like I said, is good. Jalen Hurts definitely has to show me more.
Lamar's an MVP. I know you say good. I know I'm being petty about it, but he's an MVP. He's good. No, he's great.
Is he?
Sorry, he's an MVP. I know and he's playing well now, minus an injury.
Yeah.
Do you remember the beginning of the season before all the injuries? Do you remember that they were still winning? Baltimore was, and
yes.
People were dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Lamar was a big reason for that.
Yeah.
And he was in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. Casey Kershaw.
If you're asking me who's the best quarterback, it's Justin Herbert.
That's terrible.
It's Chuck, man, someone get Chuck out of here. It's absolutely correct, Justin Herbert.
All right, man. But see, that's why the people love you, man. You stick by your convictions no matter how wrong they may be. But that's all we got for Big Headlines.
All right. We got more to do here, but before we go to break, Brian, I guess now what I will do, since we give some predictions and all that for the national championship after the break. I gave you the Bob Saget story, if you're interested.
Yeah.
So I got two different ones. The first one is my favorite. So if you're on my Twitter at KKurtz, I posted a picture of me and Bob Saget from, I was in, roughly 11th, 12th grade, junior or senior. And so how do I say this without sounding pretty weird? So I was going to get autographs because that's like what I did. And my guy, Bob, was outside of this hotel, right? Like waiting for a ride or something. And we were on our way to like the venue where he was playing to like get his autograph. And we saw him outside the hotel. So we casually did what any normal person would do in that situation. We stopped the car in the middle of the road. We got out. And we kind of strolled up on Bob and said, "Hey, Bob, what's going on? You mind signing this stuff?" And so he signed it and then realized, because he was like in front of us type thing, so he didn't necessarily see us stop in the road until people started honking at my car in the middle of the road.
Wow.
In which Bob said, "Is that your car?" And I said, "Yes, that is." And then he gave me some joke that is not appropriate for the air.
I got a dump button.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Okay.
I don't trust you back there.
Okay. It is kind of far away.
About that. My car being stuck in the middle of the road. But he was a cool dude. And then the second story came last year when he was here. Saw Bob. He, again, had some stuff needed signed. And he was always good about that. And I missed him going into the hotel. And Bob casually went and had dinner. And I waited around for a while. And then after he ate and came out or whatever, got my stuff signed, he was signing. He said, "You been waiting?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You could have just came in and sat down." I said, "Wait a minute now. Wait a minute."
Wow.
So I missed an opportunity there, I guess. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, Bob Saget, always a good dude to the people. He will definitely be missed. Tragic story. Bob Saget no longer with us. But we'll get it back to the positive side on the other side of this break. We'll close our thoughts about the national championship. We'll get you set for it. It'll be coming up at 7 right here on ESPN 690 coverage. We'll start at 7
as well.
What?
That tease from what member of ESPN 690 may be a part of that national
that's right. I forgot about that. Good call. You could have let that go. And he wants to tell the story. So we'll get that. We'll get final words, and we'll tell you about that coming up next. Action Sports Jax Overtime on ESPN 690.
If you're involved in a legal dispute, call me, Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Koala
am Carey.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
On average, an artificial limb for a child starts at $5,000, and the first prosthetic for an adult can cost up to $50,000, making it nearly impossible for disabled children or veterans to afford the limb they need. At Life Giving Limbs, we cover the cost of these prosthetics, giving recipients a chance at receiving a new limb and a new start on life. Please help by donating now. Visit lifegivinglimbs.com or call 469-601-8523.
Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good. It's more than food. It's about the flavor, the tradition. It's barbecue, and it's who we are at Bono's. Locally smoked since 1949. Almost 20 locations around Jacksonville. On the menu, smokehouse stackers, sandwiches, salads, sides, and Bono's family feast. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Authentic traditional Southern barbecue. Feel the flavor, feel the community. Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good.
Call me, Mark Anajar, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Action Sports Jax overtime, one segment to go. The national championship is upon us. We got Georgia, we got Alabama. We got one final showdown in college football for the season. We also have a Brian Middleton. He's on the ones and twos. I'm Casey Kurtz. This is Action Sports Jax overtime on ESPN 690. And Brian Middleton, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about it in the break, how we were going to transition to it. I said we'll do it live. We're doing it live.
Let's do it live.
And this is how we're doing it. I have let the people know that there's an opportunity they may see somebody on the broadcast if you're watching on TV tonight.
Right.
From ESPN 690.
That's
and,
fair.
I think it's time.
You let them know? Let the people know?
I think you're going to have to let them know what I'm talking about.
All right, I'll make it as quick as possible. So, for the few individuals that didn't hear our discussion, probably like the second show in, I had a heart transplant about 3 years ago, and I had the opportunity when I was getting back in recovery mode. They want you to start working again, slow and part-time. So I started working at Chick-fil-A, and my story got to corporate, and they ended up putting me in one of their commercials. Now, this all happened March of 2020. And so they messaged me, emailed me this week, and they said, hey, we're finally going to air your commercial. It's with me and one of the customers that I kind of mentored and connected with. He was real young. He was 13, and he had a heart transplant. And, so that's going to air during the national championship game. So if you see a tall black man, big, I'm about 50 pounds heavier there, that doesn't have any hair, if you have any idea what I look like now, I have, a lot of hair on top and, facial hair and whatnot. That is me. It's not a doppelganger. That's me on the red couch sharing my story for 30 seconds. So, I didn't get a chance to rep ESPN 690, mainly because I didn't know any of you guys. I wasn't here yet.
You had no idea.
It was a great experience. So if you see me, say, I know that guy. I listen to him. He has hot takes that are accurate, unlike his co-host.
Okay.
Don't say that last part, though. Don't say that last part. I'm just, Joshua. Anyway.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. When I catch it, I'm going to watch the whole game, even if it's 40-0, which it probably will be. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
The Kurtz curse.
And that's the thing. That's actually a good call. I didn't say who was going to be 40-0. How about that?
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. They don't know what I mean. Now, here's the thing. We don't know when it's going to air. So, I don't take it as it could have already aired, but I think it'll get some play. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the story is I'm going to watch the whole entire broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see it, I'm probably going to record my television and then make some dumb video and post it on Twitter.
You should do that.
That's the plan, 100%. Yeah. As long as I don't miss it or I'm eating or something, because I tend to be eating a lot.
It happens.
Yeah, but maybe I'll get some Chick-fil-A. What? They're not really, not really probably supposed to talk about Chick-fil-A on the air, but I'm going to do it.
Man, you could talk about food you like to eat.
Yeah, that's fair. What's your go-to? Maybe I'll get that in honor of the commercial.
Oh, man. Well, it's not on the menu. I had to make it. But it was good.
Huh?
It was like a super club. Yeah, it was like a super club.
A super club.
And here's the deal. They started the spicy chicken sandwich out. They were one of the markets in Arizona before they even put it out, across nationwide.
Okay.
So I was tearing those up back in 2020, man. Back in 2019.
So I should get a spicy chicken is what you're telling me.
And if
what
you
is
just
the
so happen to
super
roll
club?
by,
Hold on. Wait, what is, because I get the club, like the grilled club. That's what I get.
Yeah, well, again, there might be some extra bacon. There's some other proteins that go on there. Got some sauces that you got to mix together. It's too much for me to share right now. I will share it on Thursday if you still want to know.
But the commercial's today.
Yeah, I get that. But you better not go in that drive-through line and be like, hey, I want this right here.
I'd be like, have you seen the commercial?
Yeah, this is what I need
done. He said
to
get the super club. I don't know. All right. So that's what's going on. If you're going to watch the broadcast on TV, you might see the guy, Brian Middleton. Feel free to listen on the radio, though. We encourage you to do that if you can't catch it on the TV. Or if you can catch it on the TV and just prefer the radio, we'd appreciate that. That'll be coming up in 7 minutes on ESPN 690, the coverage of the national championship. We're with you for about 3 more. And Brian Middleton, it's time to officially tell me who's going to win the football game, by how many, and why. And you only have about 2 minutes.
I'm going to make it short because you got to get us out of here, man. You're skillful at that. Alabama's going to win. It will not be a blowout. I say 28-24, Alabama scores that winning touchdown or the go-ahead field goal in the fourth quarter. And it's because of Nick Saban and the maturation of Bryce Young. I know Georgia's going to do some things different, and that's actually a benefit to them. They can go back and change some things up, and then Alabama will have to adjust on the fly. But I think that until UJ shows me differently, I'm going to go with Alabama, who consistently shows me for a decade, the better part of more than a decade. So I'm going with Alabama 28-24, mainly because of Saban and that Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
Yeah, I like it. Better quarterback, Alabama. Better coach, Alabama. Better defense, I have to say Georgia. I feel like I'm contract, whatever. I feel like I have a contract to do so. But Alabama wins this game. I think it's going to be big. They beat Georgia for a second time this season, win a national championship, because I can't really fathom a situation where Alabama does not win. I told you from 3 to 6 how the point spreads were looking and some of the odds on that. Right now you're sitting at 2.5, some places 3. Alabama is the underdog for some reason. Does Vegas know something we don't know? Sometimes. I think this one's pretty straightforward. You don't bet against Nick Saban, and when he's the underdog, you certainly bet on Nick Saban. That's going to do it for us. Like I've said, the national championship is coming up next. If you're in front of your television and maybe want to check out what's going on TV and then come back for the game, that's cool too, because Brent Martineau is about to be on TV. Jags Report live from Sneakers at the Beach. Shaq Griffin should be joining him in person. If you're in your car right now listening to the radio, go check out my guy Brent. Take a selfie with him. Go get an autograph from Shaq. Do what you got to do. Sneakers at Jax Beach. I'm sure Brent would be thrilled to see you out there. We'll be back tomorrow from 3 to 6. Brent and Austin will be at Topgolf. I'll be here, and we'll continue going on. For me and Brian Middleton, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll be breaking down, looking ahead to the NFL playoffs, maybe basketball. I think basketball talk's going to have to come in here because football is ending right before our eyes. That's going to do it for us. Action Sports Jax Overtime. Have a great night. Enjoy the national championship. We'll talk to you tomorrow. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
An essential part of starting and running a business is managing cash flow. This involves not just generating sales revenue, but also securing financing, handling expenses,